And welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And hello, we are back on a Wednesday night because we wanted to recap the recent Marvel Legends fan stream straight away. We did not want to wait another day. We wanted to get in there straight away. So today, me and the super producer are going to be recapping all of the Marvel Legend reveals from the recent live stream, which is over 20 reveals, like technically new reveals that they haven't spoke about yet, over 20, which is insane. So let me bring in the man himself, the superest producer. It is, of course, Rich. Rich, how you doing?
Dydd Gwyl Dewi Sant, Dan! Dydd Gwyl Dewi Sant, wey!
That's happy, it's St. David's Day, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Happy
Happy
Wales
St.
Day.
David's Day to everyone from Wales.
Indeed.
And to all you English bastards.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right. Okay, so you're on that. I'm a bit under the weather still. So I've been plugging Koppelberg, right, for months on end, right? They ignore me. You post a retweet or tag me in a tweet, and they respond to you first time. So I'm like, forget you, Koppelberg. So I'm changing my attitude, and I'm going to try and get a sponsorship by Tetley Tea. So
I'll take Grey Goose.
there you go.
Grey Goose.
Grey Goose.
Made in Wales.
So hello to everybody in the chat. As I said, we are a little bit later than we usually do because me and Rich were both out working, etc., etc. So I watched the first little bit of the stream and then I had to go. So I watched a couple of the Spider-Man stuff and then I had to leave. So I missed all the Avengers stuff live. I had to rewatch that. You were the same, right? You were at work, come back, watched the whole.
I watched none of it. I ran off to the toilet to see if anyone had posted photos, and they were all just talking about it. Every other bloody stream, millions of photos, and not one photo. I was like, post some bloody photos.
Where's Hill Phones when you need him? So of course we are referring to the Hasbro Pulse live stream that happened today. Over 20 Marvel Legends reveals. So there's a lot to get into. So that's what we're going to be doing today for the next hour and a half. We're going to be recapping. And I've said to Rich just before we went live, I've not spoke to anybody about any of these yet. I think I managed to post one quick post about the Spider-Man 2-pack, and that's about it. I haven't spoke to anyone about anything yet. So I am eager, as always, to talk about some of this with people. So as I said, buckle in, people in the chat. Thank you for sticking with us late if you're in the UK. And if you're in the US, it's just a little bit later than usual, but still quite early in the afternoon for most of you. So hopefully maybe you're winding down at work or finishing work and on your way home, etc., etc. So I appreciate that all the same. But thank you very much. So let me do the housekeeping first, and then we will straight away get into the Marvel stuff, because as I said, over 20 bloody reveals. And Dominique, thank you so much. Testing.
Dominique Smith donated $4.99. Testing. Friday, are you awake today?
Dominique, I appreciate that. Testing. Friday, are you awake today? Shout out Dominique as well, who joined us for the very first time on Legends and Liquor this last Sunday. And I appreciate everyone on Legends and Liquor, regulars, etc., for taking the week off, giving me an easy week with just one group. I appreciate that. The next Legends and Liquor, though, buckle in, because there's going to be so many toys to talk about. But Dominique, I appreciate that. And that reminds me perfectly to, as I said, do the housekeeping. So as you know, go and check out all the other live streams, long form content on the channel if you want to hear some idiots rambling about toys while you're off pottering around, working, etc., etc. We appreciate that. Every Thursday with me and the super producer. Every other Sunday, Legend and Liquor. As I said, last Sunday was Legend and Liquor. The next one will be in 2 weeks' time. Turtles and Tea is happening very, very soon. I just need to speak to Tanner. Maybe this Friday, maybe this Sunday. I need to speak to Tanner and see if we can figure it out. But lots of Hall of Fun stuff to talk about. So Turtles and Tea happening very soon. And then, as we know, Hasbro announced way in advance due to the delay, we're getting a Joe's fan first sort of live stream on the 15th. Okay, so there'll be a Joe's and Juice straight after that, recapping that as always. So much appreciated. Check out all of them. And just like Dominique did, if you want to contribute to the nonsense here, I appreciate it so very much. And to say thank you, anything over £4 or $4, Friday we'll read it out loud on the stream. Not only contribute to the channel, be a part of the stream, be a part of the conversation. As I said, it's always appreciated. Let us know your favourite reveals as we're going through today. It'll be fun to see, because there's so many. Literally, I'm sure people have different answers. So much appreciated. And as I said, you special people out there, you hit that join button, all right? Members Club, or show some love. I love all you all the same, all right? Thank you so much. Right. Rich, let's get into this. So first, you come home from work, you watch the stream. first impressions, a solid stream for you? Some good reveals hidden amongst there? Or are you thinking, not for me? How are you feeling coming out of that?
Yeah, good reveals, I think. I think a lot of the stuff we knew was coming, but like to see them in hand, a lot of them looked a lot better. There was a couple of things I was like, but mostly I would say 90% good.
Yeah, like if you're playing rectangular bingo, your card's going to explode today, or you're going to need to get another one because there's so many stamps on this list. But I think Hasbro, and especially maybe the Marvel team themselves, they're well aware of what the community know and don't know. So I think that's why they just were like, right, fuck it, have it all. Here you go. Here it is. Confirmed. So we can start to tick off all this stuff that we know is coming. And then maybe the next time there'll be some true surprises. But like you said, it's the first time they've officially been announced. So it's the first time we actually see costume designs, what sort of accessories they come with, their articulation. So it is always still fun to see these revealed officially, even though we may know names and characters that are coming. So yeah, lots of stuff today. As I said, Spider-Man stuff. And as we predicted, some teasers of, well, not just teasers, they straight up shown us the majority of the summer program, which is the Avengers, which we knew about. So it is cool to see some of them. So we're going to go through it toy arc style. But as I said, lots of reveals. Look at all of them.
And even like, it was nice to see like the MCU stuff like in hand as well. Or like we hadn't seen like the Guardians of the figures, we hadn't seen the Ant-Man figures. And like those X-Men figures, which are like coming later this year, lovely to see them. Like I've never seen them in hand before, so really nice to see them on a stream as well.
I forgot this one turned up as well, Rich. So thank you very much.
Hey!
Another one. So I've got this one. I'm building Puff Adder already. It's crazy. Shout out Mark Tac. He said, "Bloody hell, that Thor and Secret Wars Doom fire emoji." We will talk about it. Yes, Thor and Doom were both revealed today. But as I was saying, yeah, they started off the stream by revealing the 4 waves that technically haven't really hit retail yet. I know Puff Adder just started hitting it over in the US because of Big Bad Toy Store. So annoyed that we didn't get Captain America and Iron Man first. But whatever, it's fine. We got some others. It was great. I appreciate you, Rich. And as I said, I've got 2 different waves here in my hand with Emma Frost and with Baron Zemo. So Baron Mordo, sorry.
I'm just happy that I got Monet before everyone. That is the only thing I wanted this year.
Remember that, everybody watching. Rich M displayed once, first person to have Monet, all right? So if you're stealing his pictures and putting them on Reddit, at least tag the guy, all right? Fucking, we see yous. So yeah, like Rich said, they actually started off the stream by recapping the 4 waves that are all due out. Shout out Ryan and Dry as always. So there's the Puff Adder Build-A-Figure wave. As I said, there's Baron Mordo there, and there he is in my hand. So these are definitely on their way to us, people. So there's that wave. They also showed off Puff Adder with the Serpent Society, which I think is a good idea to remind people, like, look, we're building here, we're building teams, and they do look good together. Like they, as a collection, they do look more interesting to display when you have them all together rather than just having 1 or 2. So yeah, like I think Frank there, what's his name, Constrictor. He's the oldest there. He came out in the Epic Hero days, like way over like maybe 12 years ago. So you've got to be like. These are the type of teams they take forever to build. And the Serpent Society have like 20 plus members as well. So it's going to be a long time before we get like maybe, I don't know, 10 or whatever. But there's still, 5 on the table there? 6 on the table there? So
I was laughing. Someone was like, why they put Viper in a chair? And someone in the comments put, it's because she got jelly legs. So she can't stand up.
It's true. It's a good chair though. What is that, like a chair from like some sort of, that's like a Mafex. Not Mafex, a Matrix. I think that's a Morpheus Mafex. I can't speak. Matrix.
Would they be allowed to put a non-Hasbro product?
It's not
in
got
a
no
Hasbro
branding,
stream?
has it? It's just a chair.
No,
only us eagle-eyed
I don't know.
people.
Someone would know.
Only us eagle-eyed people can spot that. But anyway, point is, Puff Adder definitely stands out amongst the Serpent Society. And if you're someone like myself who's just been collecting for fucking forever, then especially in the Hasbro area, then yes, I've absolutely got all these. Where do you land with the Serpent Society? I assume you have Viper, Madam Hydra. Do you have any of the others?
I've got Viper and I've got Constrictor as well. But yeah, that's it. Not a particular team that I want to build out. I'd get the bad girls. I'd get like Black Mamba,
Diamondback,
and Diamondback. Yeah, I'd build them out. But yeah, they're nice for people like Damian Ristori loves this team.
Does.
The shout out for Damian. Nice that
Damien loves that quirky villain. Cam with a super chat. Thank you very much, Cam.
Cam donated $4.99. Legends has its problems, but this reveal today really shows why we love the line. P.S. Giant Man OTW.
Thank you very much, Cam, aka Cameron, I'm sure. He says, Legends has its problems, but the reveals today really shows why we love the line. P.S. Giant Man on the way. We shall see. But no, absolutely. It's again, like everything, nothing is perfect in life, all right? It's just the way it is. There's peaks and troughs. And it's nice to just remind ourselves what we love about the hobby without... And I think it's very clever today as well, because they've revealed everything, and there's no pre-orders, there's no pricing, there's no nothing that could be... Nothing that could put a downer on what the products are. So instead, we just can just enjoy the product as a reveal and just be like, oh, okay, I would like to add that character to my collection, without necessarily going, ouch, that price isn't worth it. You know, we're just enjoying the character selection here. So
it could have happened at the end. Oh my god, this is Giant Man and he's $750 coming to you in 2025.
We shall see. Okay, anyway, there you go. So thank you very much, Cameron. Appreciate that. There you go. This is Open Society. There we have Chode, Build-A-Figure. As we know, doesn't really have the yellow highlights. We figured that out because me and Richard both got pieces.
He's got yellow on his toes. What are you on about?
Subtle. Can't even see
a bit of yellow. He's got no. Look, he's got no fin on the back though.
Yeah, and he's got the wrong set of hands as well. So yeah, sad times. There's Emma and Cyclops. Go and check out my Emma review on the channel right now. Astonishing Emma Frost, of course, the White Queen, if you will. I have got a full review up of that figure right now. So again, nice looking figure. And Rich, while you're here, actually, I put a poll up on my Instagram stories asking, like, do you like the face or not? Because I thought the face was actually pretty good, but there's still quite a big portion of people that are like, ugh, that's well ugly, terrible face. And I'm like, really? Like, I think it was pretty good. Where do you stand with that?
It looks better than I thought it would look, but it does. Like, I see Emma as like beautiful. Like Emma should be like a beautiful lady, and that doesn't look. Lady. That does not look beautiful lady to me. That reads like woman in the bar after 10 drinks.
I said she looks frosty. Like,
she's got eyeshadow under her eyes. Who does that? You know, I'm not an expert on eyeshadow, but
I don't know. It was just funny to have that conversation. Again, people can love it or hate it. It's absolutely fine, but it's definitely conflicted, that one on the face call. Go and check out my review if you want to see what we're talking about. I do a couple of comparisons.
You probably won't get this at all, but she reminds me of Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane.
Not a clue.
The making the band with P. Diddy. When he made a girl band.
Not a clue. But I remember Young Jock. It was going down. That's all
Google Aubrey O'Day, and I think she looks like it's like I could see her in like Danity.
Maybe I should start doing celebrity face comparisons with my Marvel Legend figures. When I zoom in to show the faces, I throw up a celebrity lookalike just for jokes. New segment to the reviews. There's Monet and Corsair on his way, but look at that. Rich has it in his hand. Exclusive reveal.
Look at a big fat face, California Red Devil. She has not got a small face. She's got a huge face, a regular lady-sized face.
But Corsair looking good as well. He's on the Vulcan body. There we have the rest of the figures. Again, I've got a chamber review up on the channel right now. I'm going to do a little short or a reel trying to turn that into Johnny Storm because only 17 people have asked me about it, but I'll make it happen. So there's that wave. And again, like Rich said, it's nice to see them all on the table. Same with Ant-Man. They put all the Ant-Man figures on the table. Again,
Arvin agrees with me. He thought it was Aubrey O'Day as well. See, it's not just me. There's another Danity Kane fan in the house.
Her face is fire, said Ember Wing. So Rana likes it. But it's definitely conflicted. She has a Karen face sculpt, but it works as Cam as well. A few people said Karen for sure. So there's the Ant-Man figures. Again, they look great. Cassie looks pretty good, even though I prefer Cassie at a smaller scale. She does look pretty good there. And if you've seen the movie, then of course there's context there. But it's all about Kang. I think Kang's the most anticipated in that wave. So there's a close-up of them. And then the Guardians, like Rich said, it's nice to see all these in their uniforms on the table. Yes, some parts have reuse, etc., but no doubts that when you put them all together on a display, they're going to look good. And Cosmo looks pretty big, look bigger than I expected. I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. It was just an observation from myself. Did you think it looked bigger than you expected it?
Yeah, and like Rocket looks tiny when you look at it. It's like they should have made Cosmo the proper figure. It's like, oh.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, look, Rocket can literally ride on its back, like. So yeah, maybe a little bit oversized. I don't know. We'll wait until we get it in hand. But from what we see on screen there,
what kind of dog is it? Do we know?
It's a Labrador, I'd assume.
Labradors can get quite big, can't they? So I think that would be accurate.
Yeah, raccoons ain't really big either, to be fair. Rocket's probably smaller in scale to a dog than we assume, but it's not really ever standing next to a dog. I don't know. Anyway.
There's a talking tree, but let's argue about a dog.
Fucking Labrador in a spacesuit. Ridiculous. Cancel MCU. So there you go. There's that. And Groot scales pretty well.
Jamie said the Cosmo looks like his mum's mate Tracy. That's a bit harsh, Jamie.
We're clearly not a fan of Tracy.
What, Tracy?
She looks like a Labrador in a spacesuit. But there you go.
Well, I think he was on about Emma Frost.
Oh. Sorry, Tracy. Apologise, Trace. So there's
Don't
the
show her
Guardians.
this bit, Jim.
There's the Guardians all together. I think Groot scales pretty nicely amongst them as well. So again, I'm an MCU guy, so I'm eager to and excited to get them. More excited about the film as well, to be honest. But there you go. Okay. Let's get into the brand new reveal. So I'm just doing this in the order. Shout out to Toy Ark as always for the pictures. This is just the order they were shown in. So they're starting off by revealing, as we predicted as well. And shout out Bring Toys to Work. I think it was Michael that sort of give us a nudge to remind us about this. That yes, they revealed the whole Spider-Man wave. Now this is one of those waves that was on the leaked list. They had also teased an accessory for one of the figures. But again, it's always nice to see what characters we actually getting, what character designs they wearing, because there's been so many in the comics, and again, I wouldn't have predicted some of these. So first off, Ben Reilly. I'm assuming he's still called the Scarlet Spider at this point, but this is a new updated Ben Reilly on the updated retro Renew Your Vow Spider-Man body. So probably the best pinless Spider-Man body available right now with the updated Ben Reilly costume. So I have no context for this current costume. I know who Ben Reilly is, of course, but no context for this current costume. But it looks black against the red. Looks like a variant Spider-Man costume. Rich, any more context than the knowledge I just dropped on people?
I like Ben Reilly, but I like Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider in his classic hoodie or his like costume, like his Spider-Girl costume, but on a boy. I don't really get this. I don't really get it. This is quite recent as well. It's like
Very
last
modern.
year, I think this costume debuted. So yeah, it's not really one that I would have like picked, but it looks nice. It's on the most recent body as well. But yeah, but we are getting another Ben Reilly in this wave as well. So
yeah, so here we have this next one, which is Chasm. Now I prefer this character design just because it looks a little bit different. Sort of looks like a variant to the, is it the Sinister Doc Ock, where you got the Spidey, the greys and the greens and the tentacles out of his back. Sort of looks like he could be pals with him. But again, another modern design. They're trying to show off the details in the back, which look nice enough. He's on an older Spider-Man body because he's got the pins on both the legs and the feet. So I'm assuming it's the Sunfire body, maybe. Yeah. But there you go. Chasm, again, interesting character design. If you're into the Spider-Verse, then you'll be eating this up because it doesn't matter, really. You're just adding and world building at this point. But if you're fans of these particular outfits, again, that's great as well. But if you're not reading modern comics at the minute, then some of these character designs may not be appealing to you as such. But it is what it is. Rich, any thoughts on Chasm here?
This is a really recent. It only debuted in last year's Free Comic Book Day special, and then it came about in the Dark Web crossover with like Venom and the X-Men. So you had like Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, teaming up with like the symbiotes and with Ben Reilly, Spider-Man, and this is the costume that he wears in that, like working with Madeline. So yeah, it's a comic book. It's a really good event. It's very self-contained as well. I think you could read that event without reading a lot of other things as well. But it's a nice looking costume. It's different, but yeah, it looks like quite cool and like quite like ghostly and like from like it's kind of like a skull design, isn't it? It's kind of spawny meets like Todd McFarlane 90s kind of Spider-Man, but with more of like a supernatural twist. So I quite like it.
I don't know why, but my brain goes like horror techno. I don't know why those words mash together, but it has that sort of gothic techno sort of look to it. But Chasm, it is Ben Reilly, just in a different costume, like Rich said. So again, very modern if you're reading the comics at the minute. Again, another modern costume design. This is not my mind's eye. You know, I love adding mind's eye characters to my display, especially my 616 universe I'm building behind me. This one, again, head scratcher for me personally, but it is a fan favourite. It is Miles Morales, which I can only assume is in a very, very, very recent modern costume. Baggy jumper, it seems. He's got new parts, though. He's pinless. Like, he's only got the single jointed elbows, but there's those deep like fluffy arms, so you can probably get it past 90, but they are single jointed, which is always frustrating for Spider-Man characters because they're the ones you want the most agile and stuff for posing. They also said that you'll be limiting because of the overlay. That overlay, he said there's articulation under there, but because of the thickness and probably material of that overlay, you're not going to be able to get much out of the ab crunch. I doubt it. You can even see like little tassels down there dangling at his thigh, and it does seem to go up to his neck as well. It does seem to be like a scarf type neck. But any details on this modern Miles there, Rich?
So yeah, it's one he's been wearing the last couple of years since like the big Carnage event. I think he's been like wearing this one. It looks nice in the comic book. I don't know. I think it's kind of like if you wanted to get that one more accurate, you might have needed like soft goods for like the hoodie.
Yeah.
I think he looks a bit oversized on him. The top, it's like he's wearing like, you know, like Peter's jersey or something. It doesn't look like it fits right. But again, that might just be the posing, and maybe in hand it will look better.
Yeah, so again, not a character design. I know obviously we know who Miles is, but it's a brand new character design, so not one that appeals to me as such. But it is what it is, a brand new Marvel Legend and brand new tooling as well. Like it is all new pieces for this Miles. And they have sculpted the logo on the back of the jacket as well, which they were showing off too. So again, if you're reading modern Spider-Man comics, then this wave, as I said, these characters are going to definitely going to be recognizable to you and definitely be more appealing to you as such. But there you go. So there's Miles. Next up, a little bit more old school. At this point, though, most comic characters are like 30, 40 years old, so they're all classic and old school. But this is, of course, as we expected to see, Richard Fisk, a.k.a. Rose, or the Rose, and we have seen this tease, accessory tease with us before, so this is all the accessory teases now officially revealed, and this was probably the most obvious one out of the three of them. To be fair, probably Shiri of Chode was, but still, Rose, new suited body. That's the bit I took out of this sort of reveal here. So they revealed it is new pinless legs and new pinless double jointed arms for the suit, and he's also got some posh shoes on. So
I love how they say that, but they've got him posed on a stand. Not bidding well, is it, for this new suited body?
But we have been saying we need a new suited body, so it's one of them where you sort of want to get it in hand, see its proportions, see how it moves. That white jacket definitely seems to be like quite a thick overlay, so I doubt there's like any decent deep butterfly or anything like that. But I will take new legs because I hate those old Marvel Legends suited legs.
It's the way they connect into the feet. It doesn't support it, so they always fall over. It's like, so if they've just like given new ankles and like connected it like into the base of the foot rather than at an angle, that might work better.
Yeah, he's got his little tap dance shoes on. But it is pinless, as you can see there. Very bright white, obviously, or as Robo would say, bright white, or whatever the Johnny Cash is. But there you go. So there's anyway, there's the Rose. So Rich, what are you saying about the Rose? I'm always happy to add these sort of rogue scattery members for Spider-Man, especially ones that it's like their main character design, their main mind's eye. So yeah, I'm happy to have the Rose. Yourself?
I couldn't give a shit about the
Rose.
Rose.
That's fair.
Not in my top 100 list of Spider-Man villains. So yeah.
What do you mean, more top 100? Maybe he may be here creeping the top 100. There's a lot of good ones though. Is there 99 better though? We shall see.
Yeah, 100%.
Next up, one you may be a little bit more interested in because it's Jessica Drew.
Oh, Dan, you may be wrong there.
No, I did say May. And now I know you're a fan of Jessica Drew, of course, Spider-Woman, but this is a new Spider-Woman outfit. So they said it's new, as in newly tooled as well. So it sort of looks a little bit like the Moonstone body. It is got pinless as well, and it does seem like double jointed arms. But it's just a Jessica Drew outfit, which, again, I assume is modern. How modern is it, Rich?
This is from her last solo series. She gets this in issue 1, and by issue 7 or 8, Marvel had had such a backlash from it that they put her back into an original costume. Because it's like, this is like Jessica's like iconic costume. So it's like, I don't get, they keep trying to change it, but it's like, this is the best look for Jessica. So it's like, I don't know why they made a figure of this, because it wasn't well received, and like it was like a running joke in the comic book that like within like I think she throws it in the trash within like 7 issues and then puts her old one back on type of thing. But the comic book run, this is a really good comic book run. It's like 4 trade paperbacks. I think it ran for 24 issues. But I really like this run. It is Carla Pacheco and Perry Perez. But yeah, I would definitely recommend getting this one out. And like I said, she does wear it for like the first trade paperback and a bit of the second trade paperback. But otherwise, she goes straight back to a normal one, and the normal one is much better. And I'm glad that we may be getting a normal pinless Jessica later on.
Maybe.
But yeah, I like Jessica Drew. I'll probably get it just for the completionist in me, but it's not really a costume that I needed for Jessica.
Last time I was reading, last time I remember seeing Jessica pop up in the comics, she was pregnant, if I remember correctly. I'm talking like years ago, but when I was reading comics like weekly type thing, and I was picking up my weekly issues, I remember she was pregnant in it. I remember her just having the big hump and all. So that story's got to be way after she's had the kid and stuff. So not something that I've seen, but I recognise Jessica Drew. Is it the same head sculpt with the new digital face printing tech?
It looks like the hair looks the same because the hair on the other Jessica's is a nice face sculpt, and it looks the same as like what Veranke's got like in that one as well. So it looks the same hair, I think, as well.
Yeah, I'm looking. My one's on the shelf behind me, and I'm looking, and I'm thinking it looks like the exact same head sculpt, just the colours inverted in the digital face on the thing. But
Mike Heck says that the Skrull Veranke Skull Queen only has single joint arms, whereas this one's got double jointed arms.
Yeah, they did say this is a newly tooled female body that's a little bit more musculature, as they said. So yeah, like this is completely pinless. So I will be curious to get this in hand. But it is the modern Jessica Drew outfit, like Rich explained. But still, Jessica Drew in the line, and again, completely pinless. There she is from the back. Always nice to see that innovation. Next up, another female Marvel legend, and this is Elektra, taking on the mantle of Daredevil. Again, another modern iteration of what's happening in the comics. So this whole wave, apart from the few villains sprinkled in there, is very much based on modern designs. And yeah, this as an action figure looks pretty good. Now again, I've not been reading Daredevil to realise this. Last time I was reading Daredevil, he was with Blind Spot, and they were Shadowlands and stuff, but
you need to go back to this. Back to this is where Chip Zdarsky's run starts in Daredevil. Really, like one of the best runs in modern comic book, one of the best ones put out. But definitely start at Volume 1, Issue 1 of Daredevil. No Fear, this is called. Don't start with the Daredevil and Elektra series, or you will be lost, because it kind of carries on from this. So start picking up this one. Really good run. Daredevil Elektra shows up about halfway through, and there's a reason why she takes over the mantle. She doesn't take it forever, but she gets it for a little bit, and this is a great costume design.
So are Daredevil and Elektra both running around as Daredevils as such, or is there
now they are? But there's a reason why she replaces, without spoiling it, even though it's like 2 years old. There's a reason she replaces Matt for a little bit in the comic book.
So yeah, as I said, completely new tooled figure. So no pins on this one. It seems to be double jointed. Maybe I need to zoom in a bit. New baggy trousers. So yeah, Rich, you obviously you're showing off the comic there. You a fan of how this one looks?
Yeah, it looks great. And they said they're gonna do. So she's got where like her face is completely covered. She's got like a wrap that goes around her face as well. They said. So that'll be a good thing to get, because it's something they missed on Chamber that they could have put in. Yeah. So it'd be good to get that. I just like this costume. I think like it mixes like Elektra and Daredevil together for like a unique look, and it just looks really great. I think they pulled this off. Looks amazing. Really happy with this one.
Just confirming as well, it is double jointed, pinless, both legs and arms, which for a character like Elektra you would definitely want. So yeah, looking really good. I like her unique sort of bun as well of her hair. So yeah, there you go. Female Elektra, obviously it is female, but female rendition of Daredevil, played by Elektra. Next up, a little bit more classic, just like the Rose. So I think this guy and the Rose, they throw it old school, just throwing a couple of villains because they're like quick, easy ones to do. So this is Tarantula. Yeah, so like it's the he sort of looks like a Mexican wrestler type villain, but he's been around for a long while, and they posed him up like this so they could show off his toes, because other than that it is the Sunfire body. New head. I think Paul Harding was showing off the sculpt of the head, so I think it's a Paul Harding head sculpt on the Sunfire body. Tarantula, very simple character design, but that's how he looked in the comics. So Tarantula, is he in your top 100 Spider-Man villains?
Yeah, but because he's not always a villain. That's what I like about Tarantula. So he's like sometimes good, sometimes like he's like a bit of an anti-hero sometimes.
That moustache, if he shaves it, he's a good guy. Grows it, bad guy.
He looks really good. I really like his character design. I think they pulled it off quite well. So yeah, I'll be getting this one. It looks great.
Yeah, no, characters with moustaches, they're always It's like you said, they're on the edge of being a bad guy or good guy. It's that bloody moustache. But yeah, they're on that flight stand, and like I love Ryan Ting, but that flight stand is not a good flight stand. So there's his new toes anyway. That's what they were showing off there. So Tarantula. So that rounds out the wave of Spider-Man figures. So they did not reveal to us the Build-A-Figure. So the Build-A-Figure is still a mystery for everybody. But the wave now we know is 7 figures. And I've got the list up here so I don't forget any of them. So the Spider-Man wave, we don't know what the Build-A-Figure is yet. But we've got the Ben Reilly Spider-Man, Chasm, Miles Morales, Jessica Drew, all in their modern costumes. Rose, Daredevil, aka Elektra, and then Tarantula as well is your 7-figure wave. So give me some hits and misses in the chat just on the Spider-Man reveal. Some hits and misses on the Spider-Man wave in itself. Hits, you like the wave, even if you're not buying the wave, you can still appreciate what looks good or stuff. So give it a hit or a miss in the chat. And also I want to remind people there is a live poll in the chat right now that asks the question, what was your favourite Marvel Legends reveal today? Go and pick out from one of those answers. I'll come back to it at the end. But Rich, while the chat are giving me some hits and misses so I can read out, any guesses from the super producer of what the Build-A-Figure could potentially be here?
I think with 5 like modern designs in this, I think the Build-A-Figure is going to be like a classic Spider-Man character.
That's how they reel them in.
Yeah, that's what I think. People are already like, oh, I don't read modern comic books, I don't need this. But I think then if they do like a classic big villain for Spider-Man, then it could pull people in. So I'm not honestly not sure with what's revealed, but it tends to be like Chode had a link with Corsair, didn't he? But then the Avengers wave had no link to any of the figures in it.
Just random.
So it's like who knows where they're gonna go.
Yeah, and I'm not reading these current modern issues, so like I wouldn't even be able to pluck a villain or an obscure bigger character. If you've got any suggestions in the chat, fire away. But just reading off what chat are saying, hit or miss on this wave. Let me scroll up. Jason Lopez, the Retweeting Kings, he says wave, it's a hit. Antonio Banks disagrees. He says it's a miss. Jamie Gitchard with the hits. Jarhead says Tarantula is probably the only one I'm interested in. Scott Summers says hit. John says miss. Slightly Hoopla says Elektra Daredevil biggest hit in my opinion. Tariq says hit, lots of hits. Paul McCartney, or McCarthy, damn, got it right for so many weeks. Paul McCarthy hit with the love hearts. Antonio Banks says wave is a miss. The Fossil says hit. Mike Hex says hit. Al P says hit. Jarhead says miss. Bond Williams says miss to save. The Fossil says fave is either Jessica Drew or thick She-Scroll, which of course we'll get to. David D. Paul says, I'm here. He is back from the hospital. Get well soon, David, my friend. I know you've not been well recently. Look after yourself first and foremost, and then you can buy some plastic. Mini Plastic Multiverse says, hi, all late to the party. Was putting the kids to bed. Some awesome reveals today. Absolutely. Stridon says hit. Hammer Breaker says, I think it's going to be the green Goblin Queen. Ooh, interesting. Would that be appealing for people? Interesting. Man Spider says Stridon as well. Fortress Maximus, trying to go after my heart, says Hippo Build-A-Figure. I'd take it. I'd buy all those modern iterations of those Spider-Man characters to build Hippo. Absolutely. David's back in the room. He says hit. Bring Toys to Work says maybe Stragon as a Build-A-Figure. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Your boy's got a toy. Says miss for Miles and Jess, but hit for Ben ×2 and Elektra, and maybe a Tarantula. Compulsive Collector says hit for Elektra, the Rose Tarantula, but I'm good with the prior versions of the other characters. Yeah, I think I'm on the same wave as a Compulsive Collector. Like this year, I know it seems like I'm going to buy everything, but I am going to be a lot more picky. And if it's a Build-A-Figure I'm not needing, then I will just pick the characters I want on my shelf. And so far, it's the Rose, Tarantula, and that Elektra Daredevil. Even though I have no attachment, it's a storyline I could see myself wanting to read, and it's just a cool character design, a cool looking action figure, completely pinless as well. So I like stuff like that. So there we go. Junior Port says this hits harder than my mum with a bout. Yeah, his mum hit hard with a bout as well. Don't ask me how I know that, but. Okay, let's keep going through these. So that's the wave. That's the Spider-Man wave. So yeah, lots of hits, but a few people in there it's just not for them, and that's absolutely fine. You can love it, you can hate it, as I always say. I'm not here to tell you what to think. Let's keep going. So there's the Spider-Man wave. Let's get into more Spider-Man stuff, and this is something I can definitely talk about. So, as we know, they are moving the VHS sort of theme into Spider-Man this year because, as we all know, retro cards may or may not be alive. We just don't know yet. They're just playing with my heart. So the VHS Spider-Man is the theme this year. And they revealed this last year. This last October, this revealed. Maybe at PulseCon this was revealed, or whatever it was last year. But it still hasn't hit yet. It is the 2-pack with Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage, based off their looks of the animated series. But it is just straight up repaints of figures we already have. You have the Renew Your Vows Pinless Spider-Man with this blue cell shading, and then you've just got a different painted version of a recent Carnage to match what you see on the animated show. So it is what it is. That pack has not hit retail yet. But today, they revealed the next 2-pack. And oh my God, Rich, they only went and did it. They only went and done it. Can we get some fire? Wait, there's an old woman emoji, isn't there? Right? If you have the cape, where's this old woman in the emoji? I want to see some old lady women emojis filling up the chat right now because, Rich, it's Aunt May. It's animated Aunt May. It's my mind's eye of Aunt May.
Just post Brandon's face. Just post Brandon's face. He loves a gilf.
Brandon, we can confirm, loves a gilf. And Aunt May, people. And it's not just any Aunt May. It's animated Aunt May, like in her sort of turquoise jumper and pencil skirt. This is my mind's eye of Aunt May. This is what I've been wanting. And Ryan Tings in the chat, he says you're welcome with the old woman emoji head. This is what we're talking about. Thank you very much, Ryan, if you did sort of push to make this happen, because we will buy this unarticulated old woman to stand on the shelf. It's all about that character representation, and Aunt May is integral to the Peter Parker story. And like, what's funny is that she's packed in with someone that genuinely did kidnap her on the show as well. So before we move into him, though, of course, Rich, Aunt May, you love a female action figure. Even
this was the one I said. This was the one I said. If they do any VHSs, I'll get the Spider-Man VHSs. I was out. I was like, I don't need Carnage. I don't need Symbiote Spider-Man. But then they reeled me in with the two that I wanted the most, the like modern animated style Dr. Ock, and with like we get into that, we'll get into the tentacles. And then to check Aunt May in there as well. Aunt May, who has never had a legend figure ever.
Now she has. So there it is. It's Aunt May from the animated series. If you grew up in the 90s watching that Spider-Man cartoon, your brain should instantly click for who this is. And again, no cell shading as well. I love the fact there's no cell shading on this, so I can put this in with my like animated Spider-Man sort of amalgamation shelf. Do you know, like it isn't like with my VHS X-Men, they've got their own shelf because they're all cell shading. They represent that, and they're in their own place. But this, I can sort of fudge into my sort of comic, sort of Spider-Man iteration. And
but no, she won't fit, Dan.
What's that?
On your wall, she won't fit on your wall, will she?
I was going to say, right, we haven't spoke about the second figure in this pack, right? But my only like criticism about this 2-pack is they're not on retro cards. If these were in like a retro card like 2-pack, oh my God, I might have weed myself watching the stream, but that's just me. That's just me, because they're two characters that absolutely deserve to be on a retro card, especially Doc Ock, a character member of the Sinister Six, or the Insidious Six, as they call it on the animated show. But can I just say a thank you to everyone who just blew up the chat with old woman emojis as well. I appreciate that. Always fun to see. Yeah, Aunt May. But it's not just Aunt May, people, all right? So Aunt May is clearly the reason people are going to be buying this box set. But as a bonus... As a bonus for buying Aunt May for your collection, you're getting a Doc Ock, but not just this Doc Ock with those old bendy wire tentacles. Get them out of here, because we are having a brand new Dr. Octopus with bendy wire articulated tentacles. Wow, this is my favourite reveal of the whole stream. I love my Spider-Man figures, right? And my mind's eye of these characters, my introduction to so many of these characters was via the medium of that animated series. So it doesn't matter how many comics I read, how many movies I watch, my mind's eye of all these characters will still be these designs. So the fact that I have a lot of these now in figure form And Doc Ock's design in the animated show, he had that sort of armory suit on, which was a little bit different to what you've seen in the comics. So like, and again, no cell shading on this, no gimmicks or anything like that. This is just a straight up animated looking inspired Doc Ock with bendy wire tentacles. Yes, please. Not only do we get Aunt May, we get a bendy wire tentacles Dr. Octopus. 2 top 10 figures of the year right now. I'm calling it in 1 2-pack. Rich, what are we saying about Doc Ock? Like,
yeah, this is what I think. When I think of Doc Ock, I think of this look. I don't think of like the old man who's a bit shit as being a villain. I think of this guy, and like he was a bit ruthless in the animated
he was
show.
a big bad in the animated
yeah.
show. Yeah.
So this was always a look I wanted. So to finally get this look of like buffed up Doc Ock, he's been to the gym a bit, you know, he hasn't been eating those pies, he hasn't been sitting in the lab all day. It looks really good, and to get the tentacles as well, and the fact that they can trade places with the the one that came with Silk is a great thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We should mention that. So, and they made a point to say that as well. Edge White said that the tentacles are like, you can use them on your previous Doc Ocks. They do still plug in like the other one. So if you really, really wanted to, you could buy a second set of these to plug into your old Dr. Octopus for a little upgrade on the shelf for sure. And then you can have an animated inspired Doc Ock and a comic inspired Doc Ock. But the colour palettes, obviously the greens and the yellows anyway. But again, I love that the orange on there is true to the animated show without being obvious cell shading. Again, I'm not especially with my Spider-Man stuff. With the X-Men stuff, I sort of learnt to live with it as its own separate display. But the Spider-Man stuff, I love sort of mixing and matching with what I love from the comics and from the animated show. So I love the fact there's no cell shading on either of these figures. It's an Aunt May, which is like a character that you'd want, but you didn't think would be very toyetic. But of course, we want to, again, it's all about that world building, that adding that character to the shelf. I know there's a lot of articulation snobs out there, and they're going to be mad that Aunt May can't bend her knees and get all posed up, but I don't care.
What are you going to want? What are you going to try and get Aunt May to do it?
There's some idiot out there that wants Aunt May, like, is going to complain about that pencil skirt, but I don't care. She can stand there still, and I'll be very happy to have her on the display. But this Doc Ock, you're going to be able to pose up a lot better. I love that he can stand on his own weight as well with the legs. But yeah, this 2-pack right here, as I said, bravo. This one's me all day long. But it's calling to me, so I have to admit I'm very biased for stuff like this. But yeah, even Rich is in. Yeah, and are you in mainly because of Doc Ock, or you're in mainly because of Aunt May?
Both, equally both.
Okay, that's good.
I love an OAP.
Nice. And in the animated show, as I said, there is an episode where Doc Ock kidnapped Aunt May. So, like, it makes sense within the context of it being an animated show-inspired box set as well. So, yeah, again, this one's me all day long. Quinn Comics says
they date somewhere as well. Have I made that up?
No, they did in the comics. Yeah, in the comics.
Yeah.
In the comics, not in the animated show, but in the comics, they absolutely did. Yeah, because that was in the era that I started reading a lot, and it was like Pocket Industries. They were together then. Jay, thank you very much, Jay. Toy Collection UK. He says, Aunt May, Doc Ock, my excitement is off the charts. Jay, I am right there with you, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. This is a great set. Just going to the comics comments real quick. Brandon's lurking. Brandon says AB7. That's after Brandon 7 if you're paying attention. But shout out Brandon, Hero.collections, of course. Quinn comments just above that says Doc Ock has no ab crunch due to the tentacles on the back. Now, again, I apologise, my excitement, I may have like ignored any flaw with this figure, okay? So that's on me. But if we zoom in a little bit, I do think it has the rocker, the ball at the waist, if I remember correctly from the stream. Can you confirm that, Rich, or am I making that up?
I don't know. I was 2 cans into that point, Dan, so who knows?
Someone in the chat confirmed to me, but I'm assuming the ball joint is at the waist. So you're going to get your swivel there, and you're also going to get your tilt. There's me demonstrating a bit of tilt for you, for anyone who needed a visual representation of tilt.
Dwight did move it. I can confirm that.
It's not solid. Like, there's definitely some movement there, but there's going to be no ab crunch. Which, do you know what? I know, again, this is my opinion. You do not have to agree with it. But I will quite happily sacrifice the ab crunch for the bendy wire tentacles on the back. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with it. But that's on me. Could we?
You're not for the community, Dan. You're just for yourself saying
Selfish
that.
Bastard.
Selfish bastard, Danu. Oh, only out for himself. Oh, only Dan's.
Only Dan's. Again, please hit that join button. It's my version of only Dan's. Dominique as well in the chat. Lots of hits. Aunt May and Bendy Wire Doc Arc. Yes, every time he can use them to stand too. Yeah, agreed. Absolutely. So good. Okay, so there you go. There's that 2-pack. So this one goes up for pre-order tomorrow. So it's the only pre-order that we know of coming out of this stream. So again, lots of reveals, over 20 reveals. This is the only pre-order, and it goes up for pre-order tomorrow. So I think it's 1 Eastern, probably about 5 UK, and I assume going forward that all of these 2-packs are Amazon, are Hasbro Pulse exclusives. Yeah. So
and if you tune in next Friday, we'll have the first review. Woo!
Rich is going to be looking. He's going to be watching.
I'll be getting all over Europe, all over Singapore. I'm in all your DMs. Finding you.
Yeah, we're going to try and find that Aunt. I want that Aunt May review first. That needs to happen on the channel. If that happens this year, I'll be a happy man. But anyway, we haven't even seen the first 2-pack yet, so we shall see how these end up. But there you go. There's how they look on the shelf. And I also appreciate that Ryan showed that they do scale. If you care about stuff like this, they do scale with the VHS X-Men boxes. So if you are creating like a backdrop to your display, at least they're all in scale.
But do you know what annoys me already with these?
Go on. The numbers are 1, 2, 1, 2.
Not that.
Okay.
It's that it's like hero villain. Like, you know, the X-Men faced each other.
Yeah.
And look, they done Doc Ock and Aunt May the opposite way. Why?
Yeah.
Why did they do that? Make Aunt May number 1. Then it would have been in uniform.
Yeah, I thought they were going to continue the numbers, as in like 1, 2, like 3, 4, and then if you brought like, if loads of these sets come out, you could put them in order or whatever. But no, they're all just 1, 2, 1, 2. So I don't know why they chose to do that, but again, I don't really care. But it is what it is. I don't care that much, to be honest. Again, my only critique here, right? Retro cards, right? These would have looked so good on retro cards. And my wall, selfishly, again, I don't give a shit about the community. I only give a shit about my wall. I don't really. I love you all, but my wall has got gaps on it, and these are 2 characters that would have filled it and looked great on retro card. Okay, moving on. Moving away from Spider-Man. Some great stuff there. Some great stuff. Shout out Mad Hatter Reviews, who's in the chat. He says, you'll be sorry when the super articulated Mayfex Aunt May comes out. Mad Hatter, I won't, because I'll buy that as well, and I have 2 Aunt Mays in the display. I don't give a shit. Just a shelf of Aunt Mays at this point. I'm just so happy she exists.
We still need like a proper old Aunt May, don't we?
Yeah.
She's still like, you know, like 50-something Aunt May. We need like an Aunt May in her 80s. Like all wrinkles.
Do you know what the Aunt May does give me hope for? Like a animated series Peter Parker, where he's got like that sort of leather, sort of brownish jacket on type thing, and also the yellow jumper.
Mary Jane,
yeah.
Yeah, they've got to do Mary Jane now with this one.
As I said, seeing Aunt May like that in her sort of bright sort of animated colours, absolutely gives me hope that we get other civilian style characters from the animated series. Like if they're willing to do Aunt May, they are absolutely going to hopefully have Mary Jane and a yellow jumper on that list that they're writing somewhere. I did ask Dan Yoon very specifically about getting civilian style characters from the animated show, because we could get Felicia Hardy, we could get Aunt May, we could get not just Norman Osborn, what's his name, Harry Osborn, where he's got like those crazy dreads. I always was confused how he got that hairstyle in the animated show. But you know what I mean? There's loads of civilian characters we can get here. We could get a Kurt Connors, like just an untransformed Kurt Connors and stuff like that. So plenty of potential. Again, it's all about world building for me. So yeah, if we can get a yellow jumpered Mary Jane and also a Spider-Man, Peter Parker, obviously, with his camera and his little leather jacket on from the show, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Right, let's keep going. Back to Avengers. Okay. So this year's summer program, as we all sort of predicted it would be, we predicted this on the last stream as well, so we were bang on the money, is going to be Avengers. So we've got it's the 60th anniversary of both X-Men and the Avengers, but the X-Men anniversary sets were all due around spring. We're getting Blob, the 2 X-Men, Uncanny X-Men sets. There may be another 1 or 2 sprinkled in amongst them, but the summer program is going to be Avengers. And this is the first time I've heard this phrase, Beyond Earth's Mightiest. So again, this is something like they did last year with Spider-Man, with the Beyond Amazing Years of Spider-Man. It's like a Marvel mandate, like Marvel the comic company will be putting this logo and branding, using this branding in their comics, celebrating the anniversary of Avengers. So Hasbro follow suit, and they're going to be using this to brand their Avengers summer program. So you know how this summer program works. We usually get 10 sets. Now that 10 sets could be a single figure, a box set, a 2-pack, a vehicle, deluxe, just 10 items essentially, 10 items for this. And they reveal, I didn't count, but we could probably count at the end all they revealed. They revealed a lot. They didn't just reveal 1 or 2. They revealed a lot here. So again, some of these, if you're watching what's going on the internet, the names may not have surprised you, but it is always great to see them officially revealed, how they look, what costumes they're in, how do they move, articulate, all of that stuff. So let's get into it. First up, I think they started off with a bang personally, because it is the Mark 1 Iron Man. Now, I love the classic Avengers stuff, and I haven't got a Mark 1 Iron Man in the display. I know there's been a few back in the day, but they're very unarticulated, very, like, this guy looks like, yes, he still looks accurate to what we see, but he also looks like he can move a lot more than he probably should in that sort of suit, if you know what I mean. So this is Mark 1 Iron Man, all new here, all brand new, and it is all completely pinless. So again, it seems like the single joints on the knees and elbows, but again, he's a man in a big iron suit. This is the Mark 1, remember? So I don't think he was using double jointed elbows in a Mark 1 suit. I think this is absolutely fair game to sort of sacrifice a little bit of the articulation for aesthetics here to be more accurate to the character design, which is Mark 1. Again, now we're only getting product sort of shown, like figures shown to us. We don't know accessories, all the accessories or anything like that yet. So we could assume there'll be accessories with this, with interchangeable hands. Maybe not an interchangeable head, even though I would like one with the Tony Stark sort of faceplate off and seeing Tony Stark's face in there. Blast effects, I have no doubts will come with this guy as well. But yeah, I think they started off very hot here with a Mark 1 Iron Man. Rich, what do you think?
Yeah, this looks great, and I think like the chat is saying there's a good chance that we'll get a Mark 2 in the gold not long after this one as
I'll
well.
take it.
So.
Look, Spider-Man and Iron Man are those type of characters where you can give us variants, redos, whatever, because you've got the Spider-Verse, all right? Straight away, just build a Spider-Verse. Have any version of a Spider-Man. As long as Tanner one day gets his evil Turkish Spider-Man, he'll take the rest. Iron Man's the same in regards to all these different armors to build out a Hall of Armor. Shout out Big Will, Pixels and Plastic. He's building a Hall of Armor right now. So I know he's looking at this one thinking, yes, we need a Mark 1 in there. So yeah, really, really good here. The chat liking this, am I seeing? Yeah, okay. Good.
Yeah, I think some people like say the gold one will be coming. And I think like in Avengers issue #1, it was using the gold armor, not this one. But I think this is more about the characters than like Tony Stark is an Avenger, and this was his like first look, so I think it is a good one. Like I think the only thing I would say about this and the X-Men line is that they didn't do any figures from the issue 1. So like the Uncanny Team, they didn't do them in the gold and black uniforms, and this one they didn't do like that gold Iron Man, or even like a 5-pack with everyone in it. But it's great to see all these figures from across the Avengers timeline type of thing as well.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be mad if this came in gold. It's a brand new tooled body, so they're going to want to get some reuse out of it. But if it's reuse that makes sense in context of the collection and for the comics, then I think it's fair game. And like you said, in Avengers #1, Iron Man was in this outfit, but in the gold variant of it. So I would take the gold variant of it down the line. Again, it's all about building out that Hall of Armor. Just give us a few different accessories or something. Give us some sort of appeal. But I like the colour palette here as well. Like they said, it's got some scruffs and scratches on it, but it's like in this sort of gunmetal grey. I can't really tell if they are the scratches and scruffs or that's like the marbleization. Now, I know that's always one of those things where some people don't care about it. I personally think if the plastic's meant to be representing metal, then a bit of marbleization doesn't bother me personally, but I know that's a critique that some collectors don't like. They're like, marbleization, no thank you. So interesting to see how this looks in hand, but I think from the photos, it looks pretty good to me. So yeah, you win on this one then, Rich, yeah?
Yeah, it looks good. And just hello to Eric Alfred Abel, who said, what's up, Rich M? Hello.
Oh, hello, Eric. It's all right. I'm here as well, Eric.
Oh, everyone says hi to you. I just like shout out people.
I'm joking. Shout out Eric Alfred Abel as always. Always showing love. Okay, let's keep going through. Okay, so there's the first one. And again, they were showing the movement there, movement at the waist, movement at the head. So decent articulation, and they were trying to make a point of that. But yeah, Mark 1 looks really, really good. Next up, they revealed a very desired character. Again, very influenced by the Avengers, of course. We are finally getting a Bruce Banner. A Marvel Legends Bruce Banner. Now, yes, it's just a guy in a suit. I get it. But I don't care. For me, it's about that representation. I need a Bruce Banner in my collection. So we've got Bruce Banner here with the he's on an older Marvel Legends suited body frustratingly, and he's also borrowed the jacket from Reed Richards, I think. So again, it's all old Marvel Legends suited body stuff here. But we have got a new head with the removable glasses. But again, it's a Bruce Banner. Like, it's a unique Bruce Banner and a unique sort of colour palette. But that's not just how he comes, Rich. That's not just it. We also get grey Hulk to go with Bruce Banner, because that's how he originally appeared in the comics. It weren't until a little bit later, as you know, that he went green. Was it because of ink? It was genuinely like an ink issue or something like that, wasn't it? Was that am I making that up, or have I definitely read that or understood that from somewhere?
Maybe somewhere.
Maybe. Anyway, Hulk originally was grey in the comics, so this is like original Hulk. And I also like how they've sort of matched the trousers and shirt here from the Bruce Banner. Now you'll notice that the upper torso is different for Hulk, because they have upgraded the upper torso. You'll now notice it's on a sort of rocker from the top of the waist, rather than those. So I can't tell if the butterfly, do you know those big deep butterfly joints on the other Hulks are still in the back of that? I don't know, but that the other Hulks never had any sort of ab articulation at all. It was all one solid piece. So I do think that's an upgrade, and they've also upgraded the head as well. So yeah, that will be a 2-pack as such. Now, I never brought the grey retro carded Hulk. I never got it. I don't know why. My brain just said, Dan, you're not going to need that. And I think this is why, Rich, because now I'm going to buy Bruce Banner and I'm going to get my grey Hulk this way without having to try and track down that retro card version. So if you've got the retro card version, you may look at this going, that's a bit annoying. But it is Bruce Banner all the same. But again, if you don't want to buy Bruce Banner, just paint up a Reed Richards and put another head on there. But again, that's not the point. I get that. Anyway, Rich, Bruce Banner, grey Hulk, what are you saying?
I love this. I think it looks great. It looks exactly like that cover where he's like turning into the Hulk. I just think they've done a really good job with this. The head sculpt on that Hulk is great. So yeah, again, another one that I will pick up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in on this. And again, I'm lucky because lucky or whatever, but I didn't get the previous Grey Hulk, so I don't have those same nitpicks. Not nitpicks, they're fair comments to be fair. But if you already have that over Grey Hulk, you may look at this going, now I'm going to buy another Grey Hulk. Which is frustrating, undoubtedly frustrating in a time where prices are higher and stuff like that. But like Rich said, as a contained box set that represents a specific sort of era of the Hulk, I reckon it's a pretty good representation. And we haven't had Bruce Banner forever. I don't have a Bruce Banner on my shelf. It's not there. So I need him.
Do you know what I really hope, though, is that with the packaging from this, they do comic covers or something on the front. Maybe this will be the one that gets rid of those horrible...
Don't they do them on the back? If I remember correctly, some of the summer program have the comic issue on the back of the box. Remember?
I don't think none of the Spider-Man ones did.
Okay, maybe it was the X-Men stuff.
It was because the Spider-Man was the first wave that debuted with these, wasn't it? So hopefully, Avengers wave can debut a new packaging design that's not this terrible design.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone likes the plastic-free packaging. Maybe environmentalists and Hasbro boardrooms.
It's not so much that. It's not so much it being in cardboard. Like I'm out of box collector, so I haven't got the same. I haven't got a window, but it's just bad. It just looks crap. It looks cheap. It doesn't look good. It's just. I don't like it. There we go.
I agree.
That's my 2 pennies.
No. I agree. It's not. It's hard to tell between a premium product compared to some of the other stuff. I absolutely agree. Okay, cool. Just looking at the chat. Your boy's got a toy. He says, hit. Nah, this is a smash. Yeah, absolutely. This one's looking good. Okay, so that's next up. Next one. They've showed off a Thor. Now, this Thor looks... it seems like it uses a lot of the same pieces from the 80th anniversary Thor, but just with a tweaked design. He's now got the beard. He's also got that sort of... It's like the vest, isn't it? It's like because he's got his skin on show on either side.
It's like is it Eric Masterson's Thor, isn't it? The Thunderstrike store. It's not.
Is it? So that's not Odinson.
I think so.
It would make sense because Eric Masterson has the beard, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Before his Thunderstrike, of course, he takes up the mantle of Thor. So, yeah, it could be. Not like my mind's eye Thor by any means, but I clearly can tell it's Thor. But it's all about who he comes with here. Now, for the first time in Legends form, we are getting the Destroyer. Now, I know a lot of collectors have the Destroyer on their shelves because the Marvel Selects did a very decent Destroyer, and because of the scale, it does fit well in with your Marvel Legends. But now we have an option to get it in Marvel Legends, which we haven't had before. And it does look there's a decent amount of articulation in there as well. Again, done in that sort of metallic-y gunmetal grey. He's covered in the spike, so be a bit prickly to hold. But he is completely pinless as well. So he's got the double pins on the knees. Single-jointed arms, but it is a bigger figure. So it is as what you would expect, to be fair. So not something that bothers me too much. But Destroyer's design is quite simple enough, and I think it's pretty accurate representation of they threw in the rose there just to give you a sort of scale compared to an average size figure. So I think Ryan said he's about 9 inches or maybe just over. But that Thor is pretty tall as it is. So for him to scale above him is going to be imposing on the shelf. And again, another sort of Asgardian villain for the shelf that we haven't had the option to get in Legends form before. So is that all the pictures? Yeah, he was moving the shoulders to show you that the armor on the shoulder moves with the arm. So and also you've got the waist has the ball joint on the sort of diaphragm there. So that's where you're going to get your swivel. So again, standard sort of Marvel Legends articulation, but when it's for a bigger figure, I can see why they're trying to show that off and make a point of it. Arms obviously will be limiting for sure. But again, we don't know what interchangeable parts this comes with. I'm assuming some interchangeable hands maybe as such, but that's the thing we don't know yet. Scott Summers, thank you very much, Cyclops,
Scott
with the super
Summers
chat.
donated €5.99. Massive thanks to Rich M for directing me to getting Chamber last week. FYI, Johnny Blaze and Ghost Rider heads don't fit on that Chamber body.
Okay. Thank you very much, Scott Summers. He firstly says, massive thanks to Rich M for directing me to get Chamber last week. That's right. Rich knows all. He's the super producer and the super source. And Scott Summers also says, for your information, the Johnny Blaze head and Ghost Rider hands don't fit on the Chamber body. Interesting. That may disappoint a few collectors. I will still try it all the same, but there you go. Sad times. It does not work.
So I've got a feeling Scott Summers is posable_thumbs on Instagram, who does some good ACBA work as well.
Nice. Okay.
So go and check him out. And yeah, I did tip him off. Chamber is one of his favorite characters, so like he wanted to know what it was. So I was like, and anyone who wants to know what these characters were, if you're a big fan of Valeria and Franklin and you live in Mexico or Spain, both are now available. If you want to know where they are, I can link you up.
There you go. A few people in the chat are saying there was a Destroyer during the Toy Biz days. Yeah, you bang on the money. When I say stuff like I'm to talk about Hasbro era, Hasbro haven't done a Destroyer, but Toy Biz absolutely did. So you have a few options for a Destroyer, but I do think this is probably the better out of those options. Rich, regardless of what Thor that is, are you in on this Thor and Destroyer 2-pack, I assume?
Oh, yeah, I love the Destroyer. I think I said a couple of streams ago, like the lack of villains on the Asgardian shelf. So to get the Destroyer is like and to get him like that size as well, great figure to get. I like that vision of Thor as well, like very 90s. So yeah, I'm happy with both of these choices. And like Rectangler says, bingo, bingo, bingo.
He must sit there watching this stream and his missus is in the house going, what is he on about? Because he's just sat there going, bingo, a bingo. Do you know?
I bet his missus like, oh, you spoilt it again. Look, I know everything that's coming there. You spoilt it all.
Do you know that Leonardo DiCaprio meme from that film where he sat on the sofa and he's pointing at the TV? That's what Rectangular is every time there's a Marvel Legends stream. He's like, oh. Like, he just knows. He's ready for it. But there was another Rectangular bingo, and we'll get to that in a minute, I'm sure. Okay, so there's the Destroyer. Okay, this is the one I was talking about. So not only did Rectangular shout bingo, Rectangular had to like dust off his bingo cards from a few years back. So he had to go back to his like 2020, 2021 bingo cards, blow the dust off, and realise that the Sky Cycle has been on those lists for a long time. And I still think the Hasbro team purposely kept it back just to wind up Todd. But now, finally, the Marvel Legends Sky Cycle and Hawkeye has been revealed. And you know what, Rich, right? I didn't have any real excitement for this as such. I was like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. But seeing it, I'm like, do you know what? This is good. Like, I can get another one, get Cap on there as well. Like, this is very, very nice. So, Marvel Legends, Hawkeye, newly updated Hawkeye as well, by the way. So he is pinless now. Soft goods as well on his skirt sort of piece, so we can sit on the chair. So a little bit of old, a little bit of new, but mainly new, let's be honest. And yeah, I love that flight stand as well. Works really nicely, so you can get them posed up. I think we have had... Who else we had on that stand?
The Hobgoblin?
Yeah. I think it was like... I think maybe Star Wars had that stand originally, and Legends team nicked it, maybe.
It came with White Rabbit, did it?
Yeah, you're right. It did. It's a good stand. It's a good stand because you can pose it up, etc., and you can have different levels to it as well, depending on how you balance it. But here we go. Sky Cycle, Hawkeye, finally here. Rich, what do you think?
This looks great. I'm really happy that we finally got it. I'm happy for Rectangular as well. If the Marvel Legends team are looking for someone to review this, they should definitely send it to
Yeah,
Rectangular.
Todd needs
even
the first
even
review
if
on
they're
this.
not doing that this year, they should send it to Rectangular. And I tell you what, if I find this first, I will send it to Rectangular. Sorry, Dan, you're not getting this one. I will send it to Rectangular. But yeah, this looks great. It's like soft goods, everything. It just looks like a great figure.
Ryan Sing's still in the chat watching. He says, party like it's 2020. Yeah, absolutely. As I said, Rectangular was blowing his bingo cards off from years past. The dust was blew off so we could tick it off. But it is a Hawkeye. Last time you could have got a classic Hawkeye was in the retro sort of grey cards. And even that was a re-release of the All-Father wave. That was back in 2015. So... you could get a classic looking Hawkeye, but it's been a while. But this is now a newly updated pinless Hawkeye as well. Let me see if I can get a decent side image and zoom in there for you. So yeah, double jointed pinless arms, double jointed pinless knees. He's got the soft goods skirt that sort of goes over the front and the back. My only sort of pet peeve, I guess, with the quivers and stuff is, do you know that they're just a solid chunk of plastic and you can't actually like take individual bows out? I would like that if I was being picky. But just to have him sitting on the Sky Cycle there, and again, simple enough design. They said it's like in 3 pieces with the big translucent sort of shield on the front. But I think it's just really nicely done. Just looks smart, looks accurate to what we sort of picture in the comics. And yeah, another opportunity to get an updated Hawkeye as well. So yeah, I think this is I think this one's a big hit for sure. Looking in the chat as well, yeah, Paul's saying the soft goods, yeah. Again, very rare we get soft goods with Legends, but it's absolutely there. Rectangular also says, Rich M is the best. Yeah, we'll be looking at...
I got to get it first. It'll probably show up in a Big Bad Toy Store, and then you just have to get it yourself.
Yeah. What happened with Big Bad Toy Store? Mike Hex, thank you very much, Mike Hex.
Mikey XT donated $4. Breaking, Hawkeye and Sky Cycle cancelled due to leak.
Breaking, Hawkeye and Sky Cycle cancelled due to leak. Yeah, the Hasbro team are going to tease us with it. They're going to pull it away again just to spite poor Todd. Ryan Ting also officially says in the chat that bingo cards don't carry over into New Year's. Sorry, cross that off the list. Not allowed to gain points for it for this year. Okay, beautiful. Let's keep going here. So next up, we've got a 2-pack. It is Secret Wars, Doctor Doom, and Monica Rambeau, a.k.a... Is this Spectrum or Phantom? It's one of the two, isn't it? I know it's Captain Marvel, but she eventually gets called one of the others, don't she?
She's Spectrum and Photon, but this is a Captain Marvel uniform.
Yeah. So we haven't had this, and it's one that people wanted. The last time we got Monica Rambeau was her more sort of Ultimates type of look, and that was in the A-Force box set a few years back, 2019, I think. So again, with Captain Marvel coming up, I do think she's going to be wearing... not exactly a comic accurate look, but something similar to it, or something that maybe pays tribute to it. But this is definitely a look that people have been wanting to add to their collection. I think she's the main part of this 2-pack. Like, another Doom's great for the Secret Wars, but for me, it's all about Monica Rambeau in that classic look. For our shelf. I think she looks really, really good. Single jointed arms, but Dwight did make a point of it to say that so that they could have the sort of the design sort of be a bit more streamlined, as in when you bend it, and it does look pretty good straight. If you can see there, it does sort of look good.
This looks better sculpted than Storm does with her blooming creased stupid things that she's got.
Yeah,
like this looks better than that crappy fabric, whatever they use for that.
Yeah,
It's like an
it'll hold on a
acrylic
shelf,
type
won't it? Of
thing.
course it will. It will hold.
Yeah.
It'll pose up. And I prefer this. Talking about Jessica Drew earlier, that old Jessica Drew has those interchangeable like web wings that like always fall out. That are a pain in the ass. So I would genuinely, for individual characters like this, where it is a piece to that actual design, just sculpt it on. Just sculpt it on so it can be accurate on the shelf rather than fiddly pieces that don't look right or fall off anyway. So I'm fine with this, but I know people may be disappointed not to see the double articulation. She has got the double jointed pinless knees though, so it is completely pinless. It's just no double jointed arms, but very simple black and white design. I always like those simple sort of striking, sharp, smart designs, and accurate as well to what we see in the comics. So, and of course, then we've got the Secret Wars Doctor Doom as well.
I really like this because it's like Doctor Doom in Secret Wars. He's such an arsehole in it. But this is like a really good interpretation of that costume because like Doctor Doom tends to have like one look really with his cape. So this is like a more like action Doom kind of thing. So I like that this is with Monica. I like that it's not just like a regular Doctor Doom with a different paint scheme or like with updated joints. It's a completely new look for Doctor Doom that we haven't had before. So I'm loving this 2-pack for Secret Wars. Really good 2-pack.
Yeah, Doctor Doom. We've had a Doctor Doom. I think Phil Jones earlier, or Hill Phones, was showing off in the group chat his old Secret Wars Doctor Doom figure from back in the day. I think even Mattel maybe did a Secret Wars Doctor Doom on that blue card back way back in the day. So it's a character design that's been in figure form before, but now updated with the Marvel Legends treatment. They said it's reusing some of the Marvel, the Iron Man 80th parts as well. So you have got the pins in the arms, it seems, maybe. Pins in the arms and the legs. But again, pins isn't the be-all, end-all for me. More about accuracy to the character. Shout out Tarek as well, who just donated £1 and didn't say anything. He just went, Dan, do you know what? Here's a quid. You enjoy it. Do you know what? I will. Thank you very much, Tariq. Appreciate that. So there you go. 2-pack. Rich said he's all in on this for sure.
Didn't Tariq, when you went to MCM, he wore like the Monica Rambeau sword like uniform, didn't he?
He might have.
Have I imagined that?
Can you tell me in the chat? I always spent the day with him, but I'm a bloke. I don't really remember what people wore. Ask me what I wore.
What am I, jelly? I weren't even there, and I remember.
I'm just saying, I don't remember. I spent the day with these guys, and I don't remember. If you ask me what they wore, I wouldn't know. What did Brandon wear that day? I don't know.
Black t-shirt with a picture of the Black Panther ACBA.
Oh, he
on
did.
it.
He took his own picture.
Here we go.
Yeah,
God,
right.
the line. You pay no attention.
No, I don't. No, my brain only takes in information like about toys. It's a waste of a brain, trust me. But it's why I made a YouTube channel instead. David says Doctor Doom reminds me of one of the very first Doctor Doom figures as a kid. Yes, the point I was making, absolutely, with the Hill Phones, he was showing off his as well. Jay also says couldn't agree more. Love Doctor Doom Secret Laws look, says Jay. Prophet also agrees with the super producer. Turek says the reveals from this stream made me want to dig into comic figures a lot more. Again, celebrating the 60 years of Avengers, they're throwing in some very classic looking designs and some very sought after figures as well. Like as I said, it's been a really good sort of set of reveals. Mini Plastic Multiverse said, I this Secret Wars set I'd have this Secret Wars 2-pack. Ember Wing says I remember as a kid that was the first look for for Doom for me, oozing nostalgia. Yeah, absolutely. And you know me, collecting as an adult is all about that sort of nostalgia chasing and that sort of. So I completely get how some people are going to love this 2-pack for sure. So there you go. There's a 2-pack. Next up, one that I think Rich will really appreciate, but. I've just seen a super chat there, so I'm going to let super chat pop up first, Rich, and then the floor is yours. But while that's loading, it is a 2-pack. Tariq is back.
Tariq donated £5. Yeah, Monica WandaVision jumper. This wave is looking like a feast.
Yeah, Rich is bang on the money and remembers much more than me. He says, yeah, a Monica WandaVision jumper. This wave is looking like a feast. So bang on. Rich sorry, Tariq. He's a great lad, but I don't remember what he was wearing. I do not pay attention to that type of stuff. I apologise.
We should probably say that people probably realize I've got a photographic memory as well, so it's not like Dan wasn't paying attention. It's just that I pick up stupid things.
Rich is a genius. There you go. That's all you need to know. He's like Rain Man. Do you know if people read books normally? Rich just scans the pages, flicks through them, and the book's done. That's why he's got all that knowledge in his head. Shout out the new subscriber, Traviso Scott. Welcome. Right. as that disappears, you are going to see a brand new Marvel Legends, Black Knight, and Cersei for the first time ever in Marvel Legends. I think I don't even think Toy Biz did a comic book Cersei. And again, it's in modern day, you're obviously think of her as an Eternal because of the MCU. She's an Avenger, etc., etc. So this is probably a look that that you probably wouldn't think for Cersei, but I think they're freaking nailed this 90s sort of Cersei and Black Knight 2-pack. People were customizing the Black Knight figures with this jacket a while back, and now they've just done it for you. So yeah, Rich, the floor is yours. What are you saying, Black Knight and Cersei?
So yeah, so like I've said many a time, 90s Avengers is like my Avengers, with this team of like C and D list heroes, where like all the main ones were in their own solo books. So they just had this like ragtag team. So we have got Black Widow, obviously, in this look. We had her last year in the jacket, and the year before last. And we have also had like Thunderstrike as well. But to get Cersei and Black Knight, who are like, they were involved in this like love triangle with Crystal and the Inhumans. So the only shame with this is that we didn't get a 3-pack. It's like Cersei won in this version of the Avengers. She's got her Black Knight. It's just like two great characters. I like Dane comes with his like laser sword as well. Cersei has got like her jacket on. She's in that red costume. I know a lot of people might be like more used to her in like a green costume, like a green.
I would
like
think
a
green.
swimsuit.
I would think green, yeah.
But this one is the one that I like. I think the first time I saw Cersei, she was in this. She was like the party girl of the Eternals. She was a bit batshit crazy at the Avengers run. She was like losing her mind. There was like all these plots with everything going on. They went to the Ultraverse at one point. You're getting your first member of Ultra Force with Black Knight, which, you know, you're never going to get any other ones. But that's a good figure as well. You can put it next to your like Galoob Ultra Force figures. But just really great figures. I love this look. I hope we get the rest of the team in this look. Yeah, 90s jacket for everyone, like Rick Jones says. Just great figures. Like, I think the effects for Cersei, they are reused from the binary figure.
They are, yeah.
But they fit this character. And I love that head sculpt. That head sculpt is amazing. Like, Dan can have his Aunt May. Dan can have all his reveals for the Spider-Man wave. This, for me, is the reveal of the wave. This is the one that I want the most. Just great. Finally getting a Cersei figure. Finally getting the Eternals started in comic book form as well. And to get in this costume is just the icing on the cake. And then to come with Black Knight as well. We just need Crystal now. Give me a Crystal, and I'll be happy with that little subsection of my Avengers shelf. Yeah. But these two are amazing.
Alp in the chat completely agrees with you. He says, I need a Crystal. Come on, Hasbro. I've been saying Crystal, I think her and Lockjaw was an easy sell with the Riders Wave, but Crystal separately would be great as well. David with a super chat. Thank you very much.
David Deepole donated €5. This Cersei. Yes, this is the first look I think of for her. 90s Avengers is the best Avengers. Full of freaks, geeks, and actual interesting characters.
Thank you very much, David. He says, this Cersei, yes, this is the first look I think of her. 90s Avengers is the best Avengers, full of freaks, geeks, and actual interesting characters. And he also says, why are me and Rich the same people?
Just less hair, David, that's all.
Yeah, David just has a bit more hair, I guess, yeah. But yeah, this 2-pack looks great. Again, a 3-pack would have been icing on the cake, but still, it is what it is, and it looks really good. Basically, with the Black Knight, they have reused a lot of the pieces from the previous Black Knight, which was a great figure. And that previous Black Knight came with 3 alternative helmets as well to sort of represent different versions of Black Knight. So I think it's great now because you can have that previous one representing like the original Black Knight. This could be the more modern Black Knight. So like options for the shelf, and you can. My point is, you can display both versions of Black Knight for different sections of the display, and it makes complete sense. New laser sword as well, but no ebony blade. I think someone was asking about that. But this is his updated weapon, not so much the ebony blade. Okay, beautiful. They're looking really, really good. Next up. Yeah, so okay, so this one here, this when Dan Yoon put a post out yesterday saying that he thinks a couple of the figures of the year were about to be revealed. I think, knowing Dan Yoon, he was on about Doc Ock with the tentacles and this Black Widow right here. A brand new, like, female Marvel Legends super articulated body. So we're talking the female equivalent of the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man body, minus the toe articulation, but not necessary for me. So you've got pinless, double jointed legs, thigh swivel, bend the abdomen. So you got the inverted ab crunch type thing with the ball joint on top. I love that she's got the jacket as well with the V, not as deep as it could have been, but I understand Hasbro. Then you've got the double jointed pinless arms as well. So this is going to be ultimately the most articulated female Marvel legend probably ever.
And butterfly joint as well.
Butterfly joint, yeah, deep, but you're completely correct. Yeah, deep butterfly joint there. You can see it just under her shoulder. Yeah, this one is absolute fire. Like, I was like thinking of, I brought a couple of extra Silk figures, and in my head I was going to update a Black Widow, I was going to update a Yana Valova, but now I'm like, whoa, hold your horses down. Like, this is on its way. This is coming. Like, this is the be all end all Black Widow. Head sculpt, she's got the shorter hair, but the digital face printing tech looks really, really good. It sort of looks like a fringe is covering a little bit of the face there. Maybe we can get a different angle of that. But just think, you could swap a different head on here anyway, because of Black Widow. We've had many Black Widows in figure form, and yeah, I don't know why these pictures are so far away. They could have turned her a little bit more. Where's the other side of her face? No, not him. All right, they didn't show us the other side of her face. It's a mysterious. She's like Gabrielle. She's out of reach. But that's the Gabrielle song, right? I got it right.
Yeah.
Oh, it is covering half her face. She is Gabrielle. But anyway, super articulated female pinless Marvel Legends body on an A-list female character. I think this one is straight up flames. Definitely a character we needed. I'll probably buy a couple of these, swap the heads, and have different Black Widows in different spots on the shelf. Rich, what we saying?
Well, like Gabrielle also sang, Dan, dreams do come true. A super articulated female figure in 2023. Just when we thought it couldn't get any better with a Silk figure, they've made it better with a super articulated Black Widow. Really happy with this one. Really good looking figure. I'm glad it was on Natasha, who it makes much more sense of, who is like, you know, like a super spy, does like loads of gymnastics, flying through the air. Getting those poses will be great. The only thing I'm really annoyed about is that we got Yelena Belova earlier this year on that shitty old body when she could have been on this body as well.
I know. So it's like so close yet so far. Ryan Singh corrects us as well. He says in the chat that he thinks Spiral is probably still the most articulated female legend. And you know what? He's probably right. In regards to points of articulation, I think Spiral still wins with her 6 double-jointed pinless female elbows. Yeah, I think he's bang on the money. But still, as a female that doesn't have 6 arms, I think this is going to take the cake, and this is going to be very popular amongst collectors. Again, what's so great about this hobby is there's so many different niches within it. Some people collect to world build, some people collect to display, some people collect to take photos. And this figure sort of ticks all those boxes. She's going to look great on the display. She's going to be great to take photos of, an ACBA and all that. So and it's an A-list character as well. So yeah, I think this one's going to be a very popular choice. And again, could a female win Best Marvel Legend of the Year for 2023 as well as because I think for me, Spiral won Best Figure of the Year for 2022, so the females could be on a streak here because this one's looking nice. Let's see what accessories it comes with. Hopefully some interchangeable hands. Obviously, okay, Monet's there. I could have been referring to Monet. Of course I could have. But let's see what accessories she comes with. I'm assuming she'll be single packed, but there's still got to be a few accessories in there. Blast effects, weapons, interchangeable hands. If I'm being greedy, I would have loved a different head with the longer hair, but I think they would have maybe mentioned that if that was the case. But I don't mind the short hair. We do have plenty of other female figures from Black Widow that we can do head swaps with anyway.
Don't notice t-shirts men are wearing, but you don't half notice the haircuts of women, Dan.
I can't help it. I'm just not the biggest fan of short hair. That's just me. Okay, let's keep going through. So Black Widow, great figure, absolute flames, loving it. And then how dare they? 20 plus years of Marvel Legends, Rich, and they still giving us Bucky Cap. Oh wait, my bad.
Bucky Cap on the Vulcan body though.
My bad.
New twist.
Oh, my bad. I was confused. I was like, Bucky Cap? Seriously? They're taking the pick. But no, it's Bucky Cap on a new body. So this is Bucky Cap on the Vulcan body. What's funny is that they probably could have released this first instead of Vulcan and gave us the Bucky Cap 2.0, but they didn't want to do that. They wanted to give us Vulcan, even though we called it the Bucky Cap 2.0. This is Bucky Cap 2.0. He finally is here. So yeah, this is basically Bucky Cap on a new pinless body, clearly an updated version to the previous one. completely pinless. Extra points of articulation, and again it'll be good to see the comparison of this one and that one. I don't have the old Bucky cap, long gone, but your boy's got toys brought on recently, so he could do a good comparison for you. But there you go, a little bit of shine on the shield, so I guess it's got that metallic flare to match the metallic blue. But you're a fan of Bucky cap here?
100%. I love this run. I love Bucky Barnes' run with Ed Brubaker. So to get an updated look for this character, again with those metallic blues, again with even just little things like the boots being like the shinier to the matte of the rest of the body, it's just a cracking looking figure. Really happy to get this on the Vulcan body. I quite like that body. So to get him and Black Widow as well, they kind of pair together a lot. So to get an updated of both of them is great. And Ryan Ting says in the chat as well that Black Widow does come with more stuff to be revealed.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Ryan, for the clarification. He says full offering and packaging picks when pre-orders go up. Timings to be determined.
I'll let you know when they're available in Spain, Ryan. I'll hit you up.
That's what I don't mind. I actually quite like, just as a fan of this nonsense, I like them showing off the figures that are coming. Do you know, like, so you can plan ahead and you can build your display accordingly or whatever. Like, so I know these characters are coming, and then even when the pre-orders go up, you get a little bit more information because now you know what accessories they come with. So you still have that little bit of buzz even when the pre-orders go up because you're seeing that full offering, seeing what accessories it comes with. So I like this sort of initial, like, here you go, this is coming. And then later on, you get the pre-order with the extra accessories and stuff like that. And again, like that Black Widow, absolute fire. And then Bucky Cap 2.0, much desired upgrade for Bucky Cap. That old one, out of here. Doesn't need to be on the display anymore. Out of there. Absolutely replaced now. There he is. So
it's like you get like the rectangular leaks are like the STCC announcements of the big movies coming out. Then this is like the trailer, the first trailer. In a couple more weeks' time, then we get the second trailer, and then we get it released. Then and we've got to sit for the end credits to see what's in the packaging.
The end credits is like the little tease they give us at the end of these streams, isn't it? Okay, next up, another 2-pack. Secret Invasion is on the way. And they, if you remember Secret Invasion from the comics, there were a few sort of A-list characters that turned out to be Skrulls. And one of the big ones, spoiler alert, was Jessica Drew. She was actually kidnapped and she was on like the Skrull ship, but there was an infiltrator, and it was the Skrull Queen essentially. And then we got Super Skrull here as well. That's got Doctor Strange's cape on. He's got an arc reactor, and he's also a little bit. He's got the stretchy arm. He's got
he's kind of like the Illuminati Skrull because he's got like Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic. And he's bald like Professor X.
There you go. we found that connection. We found it. So yeah, that's your Illuminati Skrull essentially. I like that sort of phrase for him. And then here we have Jessica Drew. Now, this does seem to be a straight up reuse from the body from the past. Now, again, that previous one came in a Thanos Build-A-Figure wave back in 2015. I think she was in the same wave as Hellcat, if I remember correctly. It's on the Moonstone body, so I always quite liked it proportionately. But I do think in 2023, it's a little bit outdated in regards to articulation now. And like we were talking about, the wings that go under the arms, they can just fall out and be a little bit annoying. You do have a second set that like more flared out, so you can pose her with her arms up. Curious to see what this comes with. Again, we don't know what all the figures come with yet, but will it come with an actual Jessica Drew head? I think that would make sense. It gives people an opportunity.
They said in the stream that it comes with another head, so hopefully it would be like the Spider-Woman head, fingers crossed.
Well, it's Ryan still lurking in the chat, and he did say that in the stream. Feel free to clarify for us today. Does Jessica Drew head come with this Skrull Queen? It would make sense if it did. I think people would like that as well for anyone who doesn't have that previous Jessica Drew. As I said, I think it still holds up on a display, but I think the body obviously could have done with a bit of updating. But anyway, regardless of that, as the Skrull 2-pack, are you happy with what we get here, Rich?
I love this. I love that. I think I said it.
Oh, hang on 1 second. Northern Nomad's jumped in.
Northern Nomad
Thank
donated $5. Long time no talk SUCKAS. Some of the new figures look okay.
He says, long time no talk, suckers. Some of the new figures look okay. Northern Nomad in here. Thank you very much, Northern Nomad. Again, hopefully he's in his house, nice and safe, not locked out. He says, some of the new figures look okay. I appreciate that, Northern Nomad. Some of them do look okay. You're not wrong. You're
It's
not
like
wrong.
the hype man of the
Yeah,
chat.
just brought the energy up. Northern Nomad just came in here, brought that energy right up. Yeah, some of these figures look okay. Sorry, Rich, continue. So 2-pack.
Yeah, I like this one. I really loved Secret Invasion. Like, it brought Jessica like back to the front of the Marvel Universe of being a Skrull, and then like coming off that ship. I think Frank was a great character as well. And I like this look for a Super Skrull. It's like we've already got that Fantastic Four Super Skrull. We had the Skrull army builders last year, so it gives you can vary that up a bit, and like being like all the powers of the Illuminati, it can go great with that Secret Invasion little lineup. Like, you've got Maria Hill this year as well. There's loads of characters that we've had now, so you can like build out that display. But yeah, I think this looks great. Hopefully she does come with an alternate head for people who missed out on it. But I wonder, will it come with like an alternate masthead with like the Skrull bottom bit, just to like so people won't get that Jessica full on Jessica head type of thing.
I know what you mean. Yeah, so it's got the spider eyes, but then you've got the green chin. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Could be. But I think people would like the option to get. Again, there's going to be lots of collectors that don't have that classic looking Jessica Drew. And again, the one that was shown earlier was the modern version of Jessica Drew. So options are never a bad thing. But there you go. So there's your Secret Invasion 2-pack. Looking forward to the Secret Invasion TV show, MCU-wise, which is coming out very soon. No Spider-Woman in the MCU yet, so they're going to have to switch up who's been that Skrull the whole time.
No, we know of. There's like people we're in it that we don't know they're playing. It could be Jessica Drew.
Could be. Unless Sony have went, no, we're having that for a solo movie, probably.
I think they both own Jessica Drew, but I don't think Marvel can call her Spider-Woman.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So Spider-Woman can only be Spider-Woman in Sonyverse, but she can still be Jessica Drew in the Marvel universe, as far as I'm aware. It's like that Venn diagram of like characters they both own in there.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, next up. So there's them, looking good. Next up, okay, I think this is the last one, and they saved the biggest to last. This is the Super Adaptoid. Now, for anyone who doesn't know the Super Adaptoid, AIM, Advanced Ideas Mechanics, they created this mechanical being with a little sliver of the Cosmic Cube, with the Space Stone, of course, which give it the ability to mimic other heroes, and it was set on the mission to destroy Captain America. And then when it was captured by the Avengers, it sort of absorbed all the Avengers' abilities. So this is why it looks like a big Captain America with a Hawkeye head, a Thor hammer, and an arc reactor. It looks a bit of a mix-mash amalgamation, but it is very accurate to what you see on the comic page, to be fair. And again, we know Hasbro love their reuse, but they've definitely caught me off guard with this one. They are reusing the Captain America 12-inch figure. Now, they were great figures, to be fair. They only released maybe 6 of them. I have them all mint on card upstairs. I never found a place to display them, but I did like that bigger scale. So they have found a way to reuse that Captain America in a way that's actually pretty accurate to what you see in the comics. He plays with his scale as well in the comics too. So yeah, you get the shield, you get the hammer, you get the new head, and they've sort of retooled the torso. But other than that, it's exactly what you got with that other cap. So, Rich, Super Adaptoid. Am I wrong? Fact check me on anything I've just said about him.
That is who the Super Adaptoid is, and like he changes his appearance, different looks, but he essentially absorbs the powers of the Avengers and then like takes on their appearance. So yeah, so he's got like Hawkeye's mask, he's got Cap's like outfit, he's got the arc reactor from Iron Man. And then he's got Thor's shield as well. Thor's shield, Thor's hammer as well. So he's like got different parts of the Avengers. And then he's all in green for that like AIM look. But yeah, I think it looks really good. It is a lot of reuse, but it's like those 12-inch figures. They're not like widely available now type of thing. They were around for a long time, but they're not anymore. So yeah, it fits in with the Marvel Legends display, I think, as well. If you have got those 12-inch figures, you've got a new villain that can go with them as well.
Yeah, he plays with his scale in the comics as well. He's not always like a big monster. Like, I think he actually fools Cap for a little bit, doesn't he? Or no, a villain. There's a villain that actually thinks it's Cap, but then the villain beats him, and it's like the villain's like, this is a shit Captain America. But yeah, he's old school. He's old school character in the comics, all the same. So he's like Golden Age sort of villain, who's re-popped up. Just think, I recently did my Yelena Belova review, and she was playing sort of a a modernized
Super Adaptoid.
modernized Super Adaptoid where she had that same sort of mimicking ability. So but this is the original Super Adaptoid, Golden Age Super Adaptoid, and again, looks a little bit jarring at first if you're not familiar with the character, but it is very accurate to what you see on the comic page. So I am curious what people think of this one for sure. And I like how they post up all these figures at the end to sort of show you all the different scales here. So obviously you've got your 6-inch regular female figure down there at the bottom. Then you've got the slightly bigger sort of deluxe scale, sort of bigger Build-A-Figure type scale with your Destroyer. Then of course you've got the Rider's Wave sort of scale that we haven't seen in a while. Of course Rider's Wave is just on ice, it's not dead, it may pop up again. Vehicles may pop up again, and obviously here's an example of that, because that could have easily been in a Rider's Wave, but here it is in the Avengers Wave, or Avengers themed celebration, if you will. And then we've got Super Adaptoid as well, so lots of different scales and stuff for the shelf. My shelves definitely ain't tall enough for Super Adaptoid. You might I've got like what's his name, Sauron up there, because of his big wings. Who's the big flamey guy from Ragnarok? What's his name? Surtur, yeah, Surtur's up there as well, literally attacking the Simpsons house because he's too big for a shelf. So like if I got Super Adaptoid, it would be him and Surtur up there attacking the poor Simpsons residents. But he's got to be single packed. He won't be packed in with anyone else. But yeah, there you go. That is your... How many were there? Should we count how many we got here? Because then we know how many are left.
Brian Merchant says it's 10. So first of all, you got Iron Man Mark 1.
Yeah.
Then you got 2 Bruce Banner and the Grey Hulk.
2.
3, you've got Thor and the Destroyer.
Okay, 4, Hawkeye, Sky Cycle.
Yeah. Then you got Doctor Doom and Captain Marvel Secret Wars pack.
5.
Cersei and Black Knight.
6. Black Widow. 7.
Bucky Cat.
8.
And Super Adaptoid. Yeah. And Super Skull. There's Super Skulls. 10.
There is 10. They said that wasn't all though. That's interesting, isn't it?
More to come.
More to come, Ryan said, but there's 10 releases. Interesting. Maybe he went more to come in regards to like the product images and pre-orders and more accessories. I don't know. Maybe that's what he meant. But yeah, there are 10 full on. That's crazy. I did not expect them to reveal not only
Todd, which one's missing? Tell her.
Yeah, right. What's left on the bingo list, Todd? He said Super Adaptoid is deluxe, which is obvious. Obviously, it's massive. Sean says Bobby Valor designed the 12-inch line. Interesting reuse. Yeah, I'm sure Bobby will have comments on it, regardless, because they've just tweaked. It's basically the body, isn't it? They've just tweaked a new head and put a repulsor on, but it's essentially the same bloody thing. Those figures were good though, by the way. Those 12-inch line of figures. They did Cap, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man. They did 2 variants of Spider-Man. They did 2 variants of Doctor Doom, Deadpool. They did a Black Panther. That was a movie Black Panther, but it could be fudged in with the comics. And they also did a Wolverine as well. So they did do a decent selection of them. They didn't do any females in the line though. I would have liked a Black Widow maybe, but that line's, again, we're talking 2019, probably prior. Right there.
My intake says what's on the bingo list for 2026.
Yeah, interesting. So again, if so, even though we know what all 10 of these figures are, or 10 of these releases are going to be, we still don't know all the accessories they come with and stuff like that. So we will still have a few little surprises sprinkled in along the way. So again, Brian didn't want to tell us about Jessica Drew's interchangeable head, did he? So that's fair enough. But he still has time to tell us if he wants to. So Rich, out of those 10 there, right? There's a lot of good ones, so I'm not going to say just one, but can you give us three of these releases here that you're really excited to get? And not just individual figures, like the actual releases, whether it's a 2-pack or whatever. Which 3 sets or figures, whatever it may be, are you excited to get?
Right, so Mon 80 would be Cersei and Black Knight.
Okay, Mon 80, there they are.
Then just slightly below that, so like Cell Shaded Jubilee tier would be the Black Widow, the super articulated Black Widow. And then Joe's leg tier would be maybe, how would be Joe's leg tier? Maybe the Destroyer, because I'm just glad to finally get a Destroyer one. So even though I like the Bucky Cap as well, I think the Destroyer and Thor 2-pack. Like the Destroyer's long been missing from my Marvel Legends shelf, so I'll be glad to get that one. I like the Hulk as well. I like. Oh, it's so hard. Oh,
Look.
so many choices of good figures.
Yeah, good.
What a time to be alive.
People will still find fault to complain about. Wait until the prices get shown, I'm sure. Rectangular says 60th anniversary's fourth quarter. Black Knight, Cersei, Target exclusive. Black Widow, Walmart exclusive. Bucky Cap and Hawkeye and Sky Cycle, Hulk and Bruce Banner. Iron Man Mark 1, first appearance. Captain Marvel and Doctor Doom. Skull Queen and Super Skrull. Adaptoid and Thor and Destroyer. So yeah, that's all of them so far.
LP says Monet c'est quoi? She's Algerian French. She would not say Saint Croix like
Saint Croix.
Stupid rivers and your fizzy water Americans. Honestly, so many podcasts I've unsubscribed to because they're like, let's go through the history of Monet Saint Croix. It's like she wouldn't pronounce it like that. She's a stuck-up bitch. She would pronounce it as Monet c'est quoi? C'est quoi?
Monet c'est quoi? Oh, that's how I
would. C'est quoi? Like you.
Yeah.
You got a lot of phlegm, new Dan. You can say it now. Come on.
Monet c'est quoi?
Monet c'est quoi? C'est quoi? And no one on live streams ever says. They just say Monet.
Or M. People call it M.
Monet c'est quoi? Monet c'est quoi? I think everyone should review it as that. People, if you're out there reviewing this figure and you say Monet Saint Croix, I will be unsubscribing to you and leaving a downvote. Okay. That's for you as well, Dan. Just so you know.
Look, if you send it me for review, I'll take a soundbite of you saying it every time I need to say her name. That's what I do. He said you missed the Bucky Cat went out in the 10, Dan. Oh, okay. Well, we have the 10 figures all the same. Abnuggler down the well. Okay, so same question to the chat, okay? So a lot of reveals on screen, but we're just talking about the Avengers reveals here, okay? So just Avengers reveals. Give me your top 3 and I'll read a couple out in the chat while we're still here. Again, a lot of reveals today, so we're still here for like another 50 minutes if that's good with you, Rich.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool. So
I've got no work tomorrow. I've got a bottle of vodka left.
So yeah, in the chat, give me your top 3 of the Avengers sets. Okay, we're not talking any Spider-Man stuff. Top 3 of the Avengers sets, and I'll read a couple out. Omega Weapon says someone clip this. I think the people need to be educated on the Monet situation. Mini Plastic Multiverse says the Mark 1 Iron Man, and then the Secret Wars 2-pack, and then the Thor and Destroyer 2-pack for me. He says I think, but I might change my mind in a minute. Well, we'll come back to you in a minute, Tom, and see if you've changed your mind again. Cam says number 1 is Black Widow. And that's it. He left us guessing. I'm going to say for me, while the chat are typing, some good stuff there. I think in third place, I'm going to put the Sky Cycle. Just because it caught me off guard with how much I
forgot about the Sky Cycle.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. In third place, I'll say the Sky Cycle. I really like that. Second place, I like the Cersei and Black Knight. Second place.
That's a good one.
In the second place, I'll go Mark 1. Just because I love Iron Man, I love world building, and I love creating that Hall of Armor in comic form. So I'll say Mark 1. And then in first place, I'll say the Black Widow.
Can't wait to send Monet Saint Croix to David Displays Model Behaviour tomorrow.
David, just make sure you say Monet Saint Croix, okay? Make sure you say it that way. Rich is spoken. Okay, people are typing away. Okay, let me read a few of these out. Okay, so let me scroll up. Okay, Cam finishes off by saying 2 is Hawkeye and 3 is Hulk and Bruce Banner. Jamie says Black Widow, Cersei and Monica for him. Prophet says, Avengers, Black Knight, Hulk and Banner and the Mark 1. Greg says Destroyer, Widow and Black Knight. Compulsive Collector says top 3, Black Widow and Black Widow. Strong choices there for Black Widow. Turek says Black Widow, Skull 2-pack and the Secret Wars 2-pack. Eddie1343 says Black Widow, the Destroyer and Thor and the Mark 1. Omega Weapon 13 says Doctor Doom, Monica and Black Widow. Christopher Allen, how you doing, Christopher? He says Hulk pack 2-pack.
Monica and Doom as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Christopher Allen says the Hulk 2-pack, Black Widow and Hawkeye. California Red Devil says number 1 is Captain Marvel, number 2 is Hawkeye, and number 3 is the bearded Thor set. Fortress Maximus says there's so many great reveals today, but I've got to give it to Hulk and the Thor 2-packs. There's so many great characters they need to do from these branches that I always welcome it. Absolutely. Cedric says Black Knight and Cersei. Corked Cute says something in French that I can't. You'll have to read that for me, Rich. From He ends with Saint Croix. Anyway,
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? C'est quoi? There you go.
Okay.
Sing that and you get a rhyme.
Isn't that will you have sex
you
with
go
me?
to bed with me
Okay,
tonight?
okay,
Yeah.
I just know it because that Christina Aguilera song I used to watch as a teenager all the time. I don't know why as a video. As a teenager, I really gravitated towards that video. Big fan. Jay's Toys Collection UK. It was Missy Elliott. I was just a big fan of Missy Elliott. What can I say? Jay's Toys Collection UK says 1 Doctor Doom 2-pack, the 2 the Thor Destroyer, and the 3 the Bruce Banner 2-pack. Agnoglare all the way down that wow says Black Widow, Hawkeye, and then 3 is the Cersei Black Knight 2-pack. Sean says Hawkeye, Cersei, and Black Knight, and Thor the Destroyer. Collecting rush. He's not in a rush to collect though. He says Cersei, Mark 1, Iron Man, and Super Adaptoid. He hates when I say that, so I'm going to say it every time now just to wind him up. Rectangular says the Marvels wave is hopefully going to be good. So he just ignores my question entirely. That's fair enough for Todd. Thanks, Todd.
I think he's answering someone else.
Okay, fair enough. He says vote Iron Man, Mark 1, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. So Todd did explain. Underneath that cloud says Cersei and Black Knight, Hawkeye and Widow. David said something and retracted his message. It was so explicit. He had to hold himself back. Articulated Hero says Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Aunt May. Articulated Heroes. Aunt May's not in the Avengers. Give us your third choice for the Avengers. Arvin says Doctor Doom and Aunt May as well. They're not in the Avengers. Okay, some people didn't listen to the rules of the occasion.
I think they come in and looking at the picture because you've got everyone up. They're picking from everything.
It was a picture I stole off the internet. Thank you, whoever made this collage. Scott Summers says Elektra, Hawkeye, and Widow. Okay, whatever. Some great reveals today. By the way, I put the poll in the chat. It's had over 200 votes now, and it quite simply says favorite Marvel Legends reveal today. I gave you 4 options. Okay, Doc Ock and Aunt May 2-pack because I selfishly love that pack. A new Spider-Man wave. The Avengers theme reveals, or all of the reveals were great. Okay, in the lead is the Avengers themed reveals with 36%. 34% was all the reveals were great. In third place is Doc Ock and Aunt May with 23% of the vote. And in seventh place, 7% of the vote is the new Spider-Man wave. So not a lot of modern Spider-Man comic book readers, I can only assume. But still, look at the pictures on screen, people. So 20 plus. I haven't counted exactly, but I got to 20 and stopped counting because I was like, that sounds good enough. 20 plus Marvel Legends revealed today. Now, again, if you listen to the rumors and the waves and rectangular bingo cards, then you may have seen some of these names around, but it is always nice to get them officially confirmed and officially see what we're getting. And that's exactly what happened today. Rich, I can tell you what, I did not expect. If you had said to me, Dan, make a prediction of how many official reveals we would get on the stream, I would have guessed a wave and maybe a couple of exclusives. So I would have said 8 or 9 at a push. Genuinely, that's what I would have said. So are you the same? Are you surprised to see 20 bloody reveals today?
Yeah, 20 reveals and 2 that we didn't even know about. Dr. Octopus and Aunt May. That was a surprise. But yeah, really great reveals, all of them. I think everything that was revealed here, like, it's a mix of like modern, classic, like animated series, something for everyone unless you're an MCU fan. But then they just revealed 2 like MCU waves previous to this. Yeah. So there's something for everyone coming this year. And like Rectangular says in the chat, if you've been a fan of this and watched the show, hit the thumbs up button. Only 8 of you have, but there's 171 of you in there.
Only 8 people hitting that like button.
80, Dan. Calm down. We're not that bad.
No wonder the algorithm doesn't like me. Bloody hell. Okay, people, the floor is yours. We're here for the next 8 minutes. Let's chat away about anything you freaking want. I think overall, a favourite reveal overall out of the whole thing there.
It's got to be Aunt May, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't help it. It's just that nostalgic attachment. Again, I know subjectively she's not the best action figure. I get it. I know that. But it's just that connection I've got, that deep connection to that animated series. I just love to see those accurate designs on my shelf. So yeah, that 2-pack, so good.
Doc Ock was on Rectangular's list. It was only the love for the gilf. He didn't have any love for the gilfs.
No love for the gilfs.
So he didn't have Aunt May on the list.
I wonder, does Rectangular have, does he even watch that animated show? I'm always curious. I got money in the bank. Oh, thank you very much.
Lincoln Road 3 donated £9.99.
Thank you very much, Lincoln Road. Lincoln Road donated $9.99. Didn't say anything. He just went, Dan, do you know what? Here's a little super chat. And do you know what? I appreciate that, Lincoln Road. Thank you very much. I do very much. I always appreciate the super chats on the channel. Helps keeps the lights on so I can keep reviewing some Marvel Legends. And as you can see on screen, there's a lot of Marvel Legends coming. Venja says in the chat, do you think the Aunt May and Doc Ock will sell out quick? Now, that's an interesting sort of game we can play here, Rich. Considering it is only a Pulse exclusive, so it's only going to go up for pre-order on Pulse tomorrow, do you reckon it will sell out within the day?
I don't know, because like the Spider-Man Carnage set is still available, but it's hard to tell. Yeah, I know, that's the hard bit to tell. I'm unsure. Like, and the thing is as well, is like US Pulse and UK Pulse don't tend to be the same. Like there's stuff that sells out with us that doesn't sell out in US, and then there's stuff the US sells out straight away, and we can still get like a year later. So it's all a bit up in the air. I would say I think the same is with US Pulse, but like order it because you can cancel it before it ships, and then they won't charge you with Pulse. That's what I always find.
Yeah,
they don't charge you until it ships today, like Amazon. Because I've cancelled lots on Pulse.
In this day and age of collecting, right? I genuinely at myself, like, as you know, Rich, at the minute you're my action figure supplier, but like usually I will not pre-order I haven't been pre-ordering as much, and I'm just buying when it becomes available. Like if it's in stock and I want it, I'll get it. Because we've been like, nothing really sells out unless it's a retro card or something like that. So any of the desired stuff, I will put a pre-order in just to guarantee it. So I think the Aunt May and Dr. Ock 2-pack is a guarantee. I'm pre-ordering it day one just to make sure I don't miss out. I do think it will be a very popular set. Maybe not for the reasons we think with Aunt May, but for that Doc Ock and the bendy wires, I do think people are going to be very, very eager to get it. Yeah, those bendy wires, so good. Tariq says, sell out on Pulse UK, but not on Pulse US. Interesting. I'm sure the limits on both stores will be completely different. UK is not even the size of one state in America. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sure the US quantity limits for the pre-order will be much higher than what we get in the UK. So it will be interesting to see.
Secret fact, but until Christmas we could tell what the UK was going to order in, and I could they did lock the source code so you could see how many they were getting in, but now someone at Pulse has figured that out and they've blocked it from the UK, so you can no longer tell what it is.
Okay, so Rich, I know you don't want to talk about it, but we just have to acknowledge it and mention it. They ended the stream, right? They didn't say anything. They didn't say absolutely anything. They just ended the stream with this video. And it said, since 1963, Avengers. Okay? And then it ended with this logo. HasLab. Oh, be careful. Careful, there's YouTubers wanting to make videos already. Shit. HasLab, it's coming back, Rich. Are you having flashbacks already?
I just don't care. Honestly, this year I couldn't give a shit what it was. It could be a blooming giant-sized Money Cinqua and I would not back it. I don't care about HasLab. I think it's had its time. Best of luck to everyone who wants to back it or doesn't want to back it, who wants to scream about the positives of it or wants to shit on it from a mile high. I just don't care. I'm honestly out of the HasLab this year. So good luck to everyone else. I hope you get what you want or don't get what you want.
So the final tease was that the HasLab this year, which we knew they weren't going to skip. They've got too much pride, all right? They
should have skipped.
They're going straight on to the next one, and it's going to be Avengers streamed. Now, we will do a HasLab focus streamed, but it's going to be a stream.
I'm getting my hair cut that week. Sorry,
Rich is getting the week Rich is getting his hair cut. I will be doing a HasLab inspired stream, just talking about what potentially could be an Avengers style HasLab. Now, a lot of people are going straight to super chat. Thank you very much.
Carabao Cup Kings donated $5.
It's California Red Devil.
Really good to see comic characters get some love. Was getting fewer legends the past few months, but most of these reveals I'm in for. Still crossing my fingers for a fraction. Arja Hawkeye. Congrats to the Hasbro team.
It must be California Red Devil, as he's called it, Carabao Cup Kings, and only a Manchester United fan, would write that. So it has to be California Red Devil. So thank you very much if it is in fact California Red Devil. Really good to see comic characters get some love. Was getting fewer legends this past few months, but most of these reveals I'm in for. Still fingers crossed for a fraction and Aja Hawkeye. Congrats to the Hasbro team. I do think this stream is. Again, the collecting game's peaks and troughs, isn't it? There's always going to be stuff that we will gravitate to and we genuinely, collectively all like. And then there's always those more controversial things like what's on screen right now, the HasLab. The HasLab is ultimately, the concept itself is very controversial. So again, there'll be a time to talk about that, but I had no doubts that they were going to go again this year. And we know it's Avengers themed, so we know it's going to be comic Avengers themed. So we shall see. My brain goes straight to Giant Man, but we shall see. Eric Alfred Abel jumps in and says, "Careful, Rich. Careful."
I don't think I said anything bad or
Careful.
controversial. I just
Careful. You'll be clipped.
care.
It'll be clipped. It'll be in other people's
You-
YouTube videos.
Hit me as much as you want. I don't care. I do not care for the HasLab. I think it's an outdated theme. I think its time has passed. I think Hasbro have now more than got the capability to be selling stuff like this directly through Pulse and in stock. I don't see why we should be paying for things years in advance that are going to come. Again, they're big things, but they will sell. And I think if Hasbro have got faith in a product, they need to put it direct to market. I think the HasLab has had its time. I just like, I'm over it. I don't care.
That's fair. That's fair. As I said,
And that's not to say that people who want the HasLab cannot have it. And that's not to say that people who hate the HasLab can't have it. You can do what you like. I'm just out completely on this. And I couldn't give a shit.
you can do what you like as long as you agree with the minority. It's
I don't think you are. I don't think you agree with anyone. You can have any opinion you want.
No, I was joking. I was joking.
I just think as a concept, it's like, it's just done. It's done for me anyway. There's nothing you could do as a HasLab that would make me back it. I think I'm just kind of done. I've got my Sentinel. I've got my Galactus. I'm happy. You carry on.
Okay, cool. Well, we will. I will do a HasLab stream the week Rich is getting his haircut. So we will have an opportunity to talk about that. But regardless of the HasLab, there is lots of great Marvel Legends that were revealed today. As I said, all on screen. So again, for me, great to see Aunt May and Doc Ock with the bendy wires. We sort of thought the bendy wires were coming, but a lot of us thought that the bendy wires were coming on the maybe a movie version of Doc Ock. I'm not to say that this reveal means that's not happening. Maybe this reveal, if anything, gives that concept more hope, because now
tooled up ready
exactly
to go.
Maybe. So maybe we will see a movie version of Doc Ock later in the year. But still, for me, if I had to pick anime, my only sort of gripe with that 2-pack is I would have preferred them on retro cards. Selfishly, they would have got double more money for that case, because I would have brought 2. So that's my only thing. I still love that they exist, and again, I will be dabbling in that VHS concept. And thank you for not putting cell shading on any of them. Nobody wanted a cell shaded Aunt May. That's a fact. Can I speak for the community? No, I can't, because there's going to be some person out there that desperately wants.
Chelsea, did Jubilee's a friend? Come on.
No one wanted a cell shaded Aunt May, so I'm glad they didn't do that. But yeah, look at all the figures on the board. So many to pick and choose from. And again, that is the case with those summer programs. You don't have to. It's not like a 10 builder figure wave. It's genuinely, you can pick and choose what sets you want. So if there's a set that's not for you, you can just move on by and get one that you do want. That Spider-Man wave, as I said, apart from maybe the Rose and Tarantula, and I just like the character design for the evil Daredevil, I'm going to be very, very intrigued what the Build-A-Figure is. Like Rich said, classic comic character would really annoy people, because it's like they're going to want it and it's a Build-A-Figure, but we shall see. We shall see with that one for sure. Maybe we'll do a wave trying to predict, do a stream trying to predict what the Spider-Man Build-A-Figure is going to be. But very modern Spider-Man wave, 10 Avengers 60th anniversary figures revealed, and then we also had some VHS Spider-Man. So all in all, Rich, solid stream. Solid stream.
Yeah, something for everyone as well. And I think, a lot of great reveals, lots of nice looking figures coming up as well.
And it's nice to focus on the actual figures and the character selection and stuff like that. Again, I'm sure we will have our criticisms and complaints and nitpicks and gripes when the prices come out and all stuff like that. Absolutely fair game, absolutely. But it is just nice, just for a moment, to just sort of focus on the thing that I think we all collectively like, and that's the whole reason anyone's watching this or even here right now, is because you're a fan of action figures and Marvel action figures, and whether you love world building or just displaying or whatever sort of niche in the hobby you've got. We all love the action figures, so it's great just to focus on them for a change without, going, I don't like this and I don't like that. It's like, no, look, these are the figures. These look great. So, yeah, good times. We've got plenty of time. Again, we're only in March. 1st of March, people. We're not even at the end of the first quarter of 2023. Crazy. So, yeah, Lots of stuff to look forward to. And again, they showed off 4 waves even before this that we haven't got in hand yet. So a lot to even catch up on before we start seeing this. So yeah, there you go. Rich has got some in hand. So have I, thanks to Rich, to be fair. All right, beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me and Rich today on a Wednesday instead of Thursday. So just to confirm, I will not be live tomorrow. Today's stream was the weekly stream. I felt like it was more fitting to do it tonight rather than waiting an extra day if we were both available. And lucky for us, Rich had the vodka ready to go. So all good. So yeah, no stream tomorrow. But I may be doing a Turtles and Tea later this week with Tanner. Anyway, but and your boy's got toys says I'm here because I love Rich M. Yeah,
and I'm here because I love your boy's got toys. Hey.
Yeah.
Don't tell Amanda.
she again. I'm sure many people are. As I said, throw the Rich M emojis up, and while you're doing that, Rich, you can tell the lovely people where they can find you online.
You can find me at Displayed Once on Instagram and here. Most Thursdays, but not every Thursday, but most.
Yeah, most Thursdays. I think the people appreciate that as well. So yeah, please do follow Rich, Displayed Once. He's been tracking down these figures for me and sending them to me for review to keep the channel alive, which I always massively appreciate. And
yeah, if you are looking for them, the comic book shops in Spain. So we got these from Pixar Toys. They're like a toy seller online and they ship internationally as well. Again, I know a couple of people from America bought them and the shipping is high from America. But for us over here, it wasn't too bad. It was like £7 to £8 for the figures for like two, 3, whatever you want to get. And they've got Monet, Chamber, and Emma Frost in stock. And they've also got the Franklin and Valeria 2-pack, which hasn't even come out over here yet. They're all in stock. But at the comic book shops in Barcelona, so Pixel Toys is in like the south of Spain, and then in Barcelona they've got Monet and Emma, but they've got Kid Omega, not Chamber. So it seems to be the whole wave is like shipping out, but it's because Hasbro are shipping these out in like full cases of like 8 figures in a pack. So it's like these are the ones that have made it out first. So hopefully within the next like month or so they should be available everywhere. But I think Pafada is shipping out now as well, so that's the one I think to keep an eye out for first. Pafada should be a first.
Oh, do you know what? One little tidbit to finish on. So we're going to have our own little post-credit scene here, Rich. Thank you very much to Bob, the awesome Bob, who reminded me. But also Hill Phone sent me this picture to remind me as well, and I've nearly forgot until this moment right now. So let's see if it's still in my chat. Yes, it is. Okay. So can I get it up? Okay, cool. Okay, so this is a screenshot from the stream earlier today. This is what we're going to end. This is what we're going to leave you on. So just over Dwight's shoulder there, can you see a 3-pack? It's a very blurry 3-pack, but it's a 3-pack of some Spider-Man figures. You can see No Way Home, Spider-Man there. You can see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Well, I think that's the Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire is just behind Dwight's shoulder. But yeah, during the whole live stream, that 3-pack set was on the shelf. So it can't be too long before we start seeing some actual product shots of these guys. So yeah, in case you missed it, there's more. I'm sure, trust me, I'm sure this community spotted it straight away. But for anyone who didn't see it, the Spider-Man 3-pack packaging was on the back shelf. So, and they didn't even talk about these figures. No MCU figures were talked about apart from the Guardians and Ant-Man. So Spider-Man, they may be saving all these Spider-Man figures for later, like a bigger reveal later. We shall see. But plenty to talk about today anyway. I can see why they sort of left it. But yeah, there you go. Spider-Man, just at the back. But yeah, appreciate everybody. As I said, I might be back this weekend with a Turtles and Tea with Tanner. So obviously stick around to the channel. Rich has managed to track me down another one, so I will be doing a Baron Strucker review this week as well. But go and check out my Emma Frost. Go and check out my Chamber. I don't think any of the pesky Americans have managed to get their hands on any of the Cho Build-A-Figure wave just yet. And again, will people please give Rich the credit he deserves and not Hasbro? It's not Hasbro sending me this shit, all right? It's Rich, right? You can go and make your YouTube videos and say what you want, but you're an idiot if you are, because we're telling you. I even put links in the description of where we buy these figures, right? All good. Just putting that out there. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you for joining us here on a Wednesday. Won't be here tomorrow, but I'll be back later in the week, I'm sure. Rich, give them a word for the day for the replay crew.
Tom Jones,
in honour of St. David Day. Happy Welsh Day. Right, Tom Jones in the chat. It's not unusual. That's the Tom Jones song, right?
That isn't hard so I don't know. You pass.
You can leave your
Cross
hat
the
on.
border now.
You can leave your hat on and watch the stream and the replay and write Tom Jones. If you're here in the live chat right now, I can see you in the live chat. Before you get out of here, go to the actual comments of the video and just write Tom Jones, all right? It's always funny just to have a whole list of random words that the replay crew will get confused. They get excited about. They're like, why are they talking about Tom Jones? All right? So if you're on the replay crew watching this after the fact, great set of reveals. Let me know your favourite reveals in the comments of this video, okay? But then put hashtag Tom Jones, all right? Same for everybody in the chat. Go and tell me your favourite reveals in the comments of this video, and then just put hashtag Tom Jones and make the community think there's a Tom Jones Marvel legend on the way. But until then, we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Double key.
Bye-bye. Good stuff. Good stuff. Lots of fun reveals today.
Some good ones there, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of good comic book reveals for everyone, and that Aunt May was the icing on top.
Oh, so good. So good. I just retro cards rich. Just if only. If only. Oh, man.
Maybe next time. We still got that Craven come in. You still got one.
It's true. And he does film the symmetry of my wall. I think I'll be happy there when that gap is filled. And just to end the poll, by the way, with over 237 votes, the winner was the Avengers themed reveals with 37% of the vote. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.